welcome to Cooper High School in New Hope for Metro West Conference football. It's the homecoming game for 2014 for the Hawks as they host the Chanhassen Storm, the first ever meeting between these two schools. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Ryan Iverson. And Ryan, you usually think Friday Night Lights when you're talking high school football, but what a great atmosphere for a Saturday afternoon contest here and two teams that are pretty good.
Well, you talk about that. We were talking the weather delays last night. You look up here, not a cloud in the sky, just perfect weather. 50-year anniversary for Cooper. They're going to have a great crowd. Just a really wonderful atmosphere today.
A lot of excitement around this Hawks program right now, coming in at 3-0, and I think their last win was definitely proved they're pretty legitimate. Went over to Benilde, won by 3 touchdowns, a team that they've had a lot of trouble with. I mean, that shows you they're a real contender in this new conference.
Well, and we were talking to Coach Willie before the game. I mean, they do not have a lot of starters back on either side of the ball. They got a young team. He's establishing a mentality, a program here. So it's not game by game, but getting a big win against a rival like that, it just does wonders. Because now you're coming in, you're facing a Chanhassen team. They've never played him before. Chanhassen's had success in the past, but now this team has something to build off it. He's creating a foundation of success both on and off the field.
Chanhassen coming in at 2-2. They've played a pretty good schedule so far. They lost to their arch rival Chaska last week, so they want to get back on the field and get back after someone.
Well, and we talked to some of the guys on their staff too, and that's a game they circle all year long. And they all those kids went to school growing up together. They wanted to win that. But how do you rebound? You know, it's such a great teaching moment. You lost a big game. You put a lot into it. They had an extra day to prepare for this. You got to get back on track, and this would be a big victory on the road for Chanhassen.
Let's look at key players in today's game, starting with the visiting Storm. They're primarily going to be a run team, a veer option team, but they do mix in the pass pretty effectively, and they've got a receiver, Kenyon Brandon, who's had a good year for them so far.
Oh, he's big, he's strong, he's fast, he's a great athlete. And what I like really about both teams, but especially Chanhassen, is they have really good balance. They will throw the ball 20, 25 times a game. He's got to have a big game against a smaller secondary, but one that has a lot of speed, and they get to the ball a lot. So the quarterback's got to do a great job getting them the ball and have a chance, hopefully, for him to make some plays in space.
And for Cooper, a lot of guys having good seasons, but it's tough not to notice the little guy in the backfield. Levante Taylor's been dynamite running behind a big offensive line.
Well, I almost thought it was an error when I was looking at the stats. 8 touchdowns. He's averaging 180 yards a game, and I think part of the reason is he's so small they can't see him behind that nice size offensive line, but he is so speedy. There was a game last week against Benilde, 3 guys right there to make a play, and he just split them. It reminded me of a jet in Top Gun, just blowing through it. He's got great speed. You get him the ball any way you can, whether it's catching the ball, running in space, toss sweeps. They run a lot out of shotgun. He is dynamic, Jay, and I'm excited to see him play today.
Hawks also a team that can hurt you with some big plays in the passing game as well. Well, I think this is a new step for Cooper, an exciting thing to be at 3-0 and have a lot of people here. But at times you have to wonder too, how do you handle this newfound success? Does everybody stay doing what they were doing to get here?
Well, and when I was going through the keys of today's game, I think whoever can strike first. Obviously, if you score first, it's always great. But I think both sides, if Cooper were to score first, it breeds that, hey, we are 3-0. We can do this against anybody. It's a big stage. But I also think Chanhassen, who's played Hudson, who's played some tough games, Chaska last week, if they were able to score first early on, I think it could be huge for them as well. So I think watching who gets going early is going to be a key to today's game.
All right, Cooper and Jefferson are the only teams still unbeaten in the new Metro West Conference, even though we're pretty early in the season. So this one's definitely a key clash when it comes to the conference title. Stay tuned. It's the Storm and the Hawks coming up next here on 12 Sports.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
and welcome back here as we get set for kickoff here at Cooper High School. And then the Hawks are going to be getting the football first, although the officials now letting them know that they are facing the wrong way. They're going to be going right to left here to start things out. So look at Bill Rosberg, who started this Chanhassen program and was previously at Chaska, and he was there when the new Chaska High School building opened too in the mid-90s. So been around, and he said very eager to get that bitter taste out of their mouth from the loss to their arch rival. And there's a look at Willie Howard, who's come in and done a very nice job. A lot of the folks around Cooper know his background. Stanford, just outstanding defensive lineman, played briefly with the Vikings before injury ended his career. So it will be Cooper getting the football first.
Well, and when we were down there for the pre-game, Jay, it was windy down there, so that could play a role as we get along in the game, especially with some thunderstorms maybe coming later in the day.
Touchback as Shane Mahabadi gets plenty of foot into that one, and Cooper will start from the 20-yard line. And Philip Howard and crew coming out. They've had a good, solid offense that's had some good variety to it, although Taylor obviously has been the guy who's done the most damage, but they've Howard can run the ball well. He can throw the ball well. He's got some receivers, and they've done a lot of good things so far. And when we pointed out the offense too, Coach Howard was quick to say, "But we've only allowed 7 a game on defense too, so we're pretty equally happy with both sides of the ball what we've seen so far."
They got great balance, both running and throwing, and offensively and defensively.
First down pass, Philip Howard throwing, and it is complete, as he's able to hook up there with Armani Smith. Going to be very close to, and looks like it will indeed be a first down. He got exactly 10 on that first down completion. So they come out and probably thinking Chanhassen might be expecting a heavy dose of Taylor early, and they throw on first down and get a quick 10.
Well, we talked about they're averaging about 160 yards a game passing the ball, so they do have balance and ability.
Great move by Taylor, but then he is wrapped up and brought down. Justin Wilson getting him around the waist. Taylor will still pick up about 5, though, but you got a little look at that great move in the hole there.
Well, he's got great speed, but he's tough. I mean, don't forget that he will take you on, and he can spin. He's elusive. He reminds me a little of that Darren Sproles type player. And hiding behind that big offensive line, he comes at you in a hurry. You got to stay home. You got to be disciplined on defense.
3 receivers to the right. They go back to Taylor on the ground, and he'll fall forward. Looks like he'll have enough for another Cooper first down as he spins over the 40-yard line. Give him about 5 more, and so far so good for Cooper. A couple nice runs, and starting with a quick completion to Smith.
Well, they got a nice rhythm going. You can see they play quick. They get the plays in. They get to the line. They spread you out. Their goal, 3-4 receivers sets, and they get some of those safeties and D-backs away, and then it just becomes a one-on-one match for Levante Taylor, and he's going to win that most of the time.
Howard looking to run, gets out to the outside, but pretty well pursued that time by the Storm, and Drew Heyer helping to force him out of play.
Well, Drew Heyer came in. He had great position there on the left edge, and you can see this. It looked like he had him contained right here, and instead just the speed of Philip Howard getting outside, able to turn potentially a 3-4 yard loss into a positive play.
Gets a couple on the play, about 1.5 yards, and it'll be 2nd and 8 coming up here for Cooper. Handoff going to Taylor, this time pretty well read and pretty well defended. The Storm getting there quickly. Stop made by Billy Bjork, the linebacker.
He did a nice job of pursuing. He was right there. And when you do get a chance to wrap Taylor up, you got to do it. At least hold on till your support comes. And I'll tell you, talking to Bobby Schneider, who was a former receiver for Chaska, now the linebacker coach for Chanhassen, he said this is as good of a group of linebackers as he's had in the last couple of years. And they're going to have to be really active and disciplined today.
They go to Taylor again, and that one not much doing there. A stop made by Aaron Rodgers, and a very short gain. Going to bring up a 4th down situation for the Hawks. And considering where we're at on the field, I think punt is probably the option. And Jordan Marshall, the outstanding receiver, is also the punter for the Hawks.
Yeah, nice job getting up the field right there. Number 40, Ben Carlson. Got the initial hit on him, slowed Taylor down just enough. Great defense. great discipline right there by Chanhassen.
Brandon back deep to receive the punt, has to come up and field it on the run at the 26, and he's got a lot of room down that left side. Brandon knocked down as he crosses the 40. The punter Marshall tripped him up, but a nice return, not much height on this kick.
No, and you know what helped too right there is Kenyon Brandon had his momentum carrying him forward. So by the time he caught that, he was already going full go, and you can see his explosion. We talked about him in the pregame and his effectiveness as a receiver. They're making a big difference in special teams.
Maxon Hutton, the quarterback for Chanhassen, one of their captains. Pretty good dual threat for them, so great field position for the Storm on the Cooper 38 after that punt return. First down handoff and a pickup of a few there as they go left side with it to Cole Kirchhoff.
Kirchhoff, 349 yards coming into the game, 5 touchdowns, averaging just under 90 yards a game. He's their primary dive back. And it'll be interesting to see how they use that because a lot of times that quarterback is reading the defensive end if he's coming down, whether he's going to hand that off or keep it.
2nd and 7. That goes straight up the gut. And working his way forward there is Drew Heyer down to the 30-yard line. So he'll be short of the first down, but not by a whole lot as he gets about 5.
Yeah, and those are big plays for Chanhassen. If they can get down to where they're in third and manageable with the balance they have the capability of that dive. They got speed, and they also have a very capable quarterback in Maxon Hutton. So you want these 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, and you get the whole playbook available to them. Makes them hard to defend.
Fakes the handoff, and Hutton keeps it, and he's into the Cooper secondary before he's knocked down by Moses and Gotcha. And they'll be inside about to nearly the 15, down to the 16-yard line.
Well, that's what's such a tough play. Watch this ball fake. They've run dive 2 plays in a row. That defensive end closes down. A great fake, great job, great decision-making by Hutton. He gets that ball in there. Defensive end collapses. There's a huge lane for him. Big play, big first down for this Chanhassen team.
First drive of the game for the Storm started with a good punt return. And they are on the move here. Hutton handing it off. Heyer is wrapped up and thrown back. Wrapping him up around the waist was Curtis Bell. And pretty well defended. And I got a chance to park next to Curtis Bell's family vehicle. It's all decked out in Curtis Bell on the windows and everything. You could tell it's homecoming. That was kind of cool to see as he came in.
Well, it's certainly working. That was a heck of a play. He did a great job wrapping up the big ball carrier for Chanhassen. I think this drive is really, really imperative, Jay. I think if Chanhassen were able to put some points up early, huge for their confidence.
2nd and 7. Hutton fumbles the snap. He's able to get on it himself, but basically a wasted play there for the Storm as he just has to fall on it here. Yeah,
and you can see sometimes when you're running that quick dive, you want to get that ball out. You just for a split second, you move your hands, or you're not watching that exchange. Little plays like that, they're fortunate to recover that. But what it does now is instead of maybe a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 like we saw the last time, now you're in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and you know either some type of pass or a sweep or that dive necessarily isn't an option.
And they do go back to the ground, though, and nothing doing as Cooper stuffs Kirchhoff immediately. Bell, first one there for the Hawks, and a short gain maybe. Well, actually no gain on the play. And we'll see. Chanhassen looks like field goal is going to be the choice here as Mahabadi comes on. He obviously showed a good leg on the kickoff. Yep. Hutton is the holder. This would be about a 29-yard attempt.
Well, and he's 1 for 1 on the year from this range, 2 for 2 total. So he's got the leg to get there.
It looked like he hooked it. Yeah. We talked a little bit about the wind possibly being an issue, and that field goal try, no good. So Cooper, after the Storm got the ball in good field position, not able to complete the drive, and Cooper defense has to feel good about that.
Well, and it's all about confidence and momentum in football, Jay. You give up a big kick yard, you give up a couple of first downs, you bend, but you don't break. And you got to feel like that. Even though we gave up some yards, no damage. It's still 0-0. We get our high-powered offense back on the field. So I that's what good defenses do. You give up yards, but you just keep them out of that end zone, force a difficult field goal and get that offense back on the field.
Ball moves to the 20 after the missed field goal, of course. Howard gives it off to Taylor, trying to get to the outside. Levante Taylor, nice cut. And he is forced out of bounds, but he will be very close to and look like has the first down just over the 30-yard line.
I'll tell you what I love about this play. Obviously, it's showing Taylor's speed, but watch the downfield blocking of Melvin Newbern, downfield number 17. And you're just going to see it at the very edge there, but he allowed that play to be rather a 6-7 yard gain to be a big first down. Big rushing games, you got to have receivers downfield blocking, so it's certainly a team game.
From the 31 now, 1st and 10 here for the Hawks. They had a good first drive, but it ended up stalling. Now Howard throwing deep downfield for Marshall. Oh, and just off his hands and incomplete. He had a step on the defense, and the throw was pretty well on target, but just couldn't quite get it.
Two things I love about that play. One, watch Philip Howard look to the left. You'll get that safety off, come back to his right to Nick Marshall, and Jordan Marshall, and a great throw, a great ball. We're seeing the arm strength of Phil Howard right there, just over the outstretched hands.
Got a penalty on Cooper on the play as well. It's a personal foul. Looked like they called hands to the face. And discussing now with Chanhassen, obviously it was an incomplete pass, so there's a possibility that they would decline it, but then again, a 15-yarder would be pretty hard to turn down, I would think. So it will be replay first down. However, a 15-yard mark-off all the way back down to about the 16-yard line.
Well, and you see that really at all levels, Jay, from the NFL to college down to high school. Everything with the concussion safety and the hands to the face, they really will call that quickly, and they'll call it every play. You got to keep your hands in the box. You can't get up by the heads or the helmets, and they're calling it really tight, and I have to say I agree with it.
So 1st and 25 now for Cooper. First penalty of the game on either club. Howard giving to Taylor and nothing doing. He is wrapped up and dropped. Ben Carlson first to get there for Chanhassen.
Yeah, Ben Carlson, the second time today he's gotten into the backfield. If you watch this, he's able to get at Taylor before he can get that head of steam. Great job shutting the blocker. Carlson just getting a part of his jersey to slow him down. That's a big play. That's what you do against speed, Jay. If you can get to them before they get that momentum going or before they're able to turn the corner, you contain them. They become normal then at that point. So getting that upfield push is really big for this Chanhassen D.
Howard nearly had that snap slip through his fingers. Now looking to throw, but he'll tuck it and go instead. And crashes into Henry Wiseman out there, the corner. And, under normal circumstances, you'd say that's not a bad gain, but considering how far they have to go, it's a win for the defense.
Yeah, and a nice job, Chanhassen defense. Look at able to push him out, but look at the contain right there. And you can see when number 2, Henry Weissman, was out there, he bottled him up, forced that speed back. And Phil Howard, he's a quarterback, but he's got good speed. He was a former receiver, as we talked about, and able to contain him, box him up. That's what you have to do against this fast Cooper offense.
So 3rd and about 22 here for Cooper. Howard looking to throw, has all day, throwing downfield, and a collision. There's not going to be a flag, as first the defender fell, then the receiver tripped over him as he tried to go down there to Jared Nelson. Incomplete, and as much as Cooper fans probably don't like it, I kind of have to say I agree with this.
Well, a lot of times that's accidental contact. It wasn't intentional, and clearly there was contact. It caused the receiver to fall down, but it is what it is. It wasn't. It certainly wasn't on purpose.
Laying in the way of the receiver is not generally going to be flagged. So
although
that's what it turned out to be.
Maybe that's a new strategy. D-backs need to start coaching.
Marshall on to punt. Good snap. Last time was a good return. He's trying to kick it away from Brandon, and this time it works out much better for Cooper. And it bounces sideways. It didn't get a great bounce, but at least got it beyond midfield. So a punt of about 36 yards and no return.
But here's how big, Jay, penalties are, especially those 15-yarders. That was a good punt, no return. Chanhassen's going to get the ball nearly at midfield. And that's obviously a lot easier than going 80 or 90 yards. So that 15 yards, not only does it give them good field possession, but it almost made them impossible to get a first down on 1st and 25. So penalties, obviously people know about them, they talk about them, but especially big ones like that can really just change the whole momentum of a football game.
From the 47, first down for the Storm, and they hand off up the middle. Couple 3-yard pickup there and a rough ride given there to Kirchhoff. And Coach Howard talked about, I think it's kind of something that every team strives for, but he said we really want to get everybody to the football. We don't have some great studs who are going to make every play, but if we have 11 guys who are getting to where they should be, we'll be all right, and they have been.
Well, and one of the things that I know Willie Howard does a lot is a pursuit drill in practice, where they'll run one side and they don't stop until all 11 guys have touched the football. And you can see on that push, there was 5-6 guys jumping in on the tackle. So that team football and everyone getting to the ball, especially with good speed.
Quick little pass out into the flat, and that one is going nowhere as well. Complete to Chad Mapes, but I'm not sure they got really anything on that, and possibly a short loss.
I think that was Alonzo Hawley, number 28. Look at that, elude that blocker. Does a great job of keeping that inside. And look at that swarm into the football. There's 6-7 guys in bright orange uniforms running to that football. You got speed, you use it, and great job setting the corner and the edge right there by Alonzo Hawley, and great team defense.
And I think they run to the football not for show. Some teams, the guys will run in there late and say, hey, look, coach, I got close. Well, that's not what this is. Hutton was going to throw, now steps up and now does get rid of it late. And his pass is complete as he's able to find Matt Shea. Boy, he was all set to start running, and then he realized that Shea was wide open and threw it just as he was getting hit, and that'll be enough for the first down.
Well, great decision by the senior captain, Hutton, right there. He saw a lot of green in front of him. He actually tucked it down like he was going to run. But you know what? You teach great quarterbacks, just like great point guards, keep your head up, keep your eyes downfield. He saw his receiver wide open. Shea makes a great job, making sure his quarterback sees him. Very smart heads-up play by Maxon Hutton.
15-yard pickup and a first down. Just got the handoff away to Heyer. He is met and dropped as Ngachu coming up to wrap him up with a good form tackle there. Got a little help late, but he made most of that play, and he had a nice pick last week for the Hawks against Benilde.
Well, I'll tell you, too, this Cooper team, they are very sure tacklers tonight.
Handoff again goes to Heyer, and he is tripped up as he tried to get over the stack there. Bell got him.
What's tough playing against a team like Chanhassen that runs that dive, play in and play out is it's kind of boring. You kind of get used to it. It's 3 yards, 2 yards, 4 yards. But the one time that you're not disciplined, that quarterback keeps the ball or runs the option or a sweep or reverse, big plays can come out of it. So you've got to make sure that you stay disciplined against this offense.
Go to Kirchhoff with a power set, and they easily get the first down inside the 25-yard line as he will pick up about 7 on that one.
Yeah, number 60, Isaiah Kent Schneider. He's a captain on this Chanhassen football team. He was blocking, moving his feet about 6 yards downfield. If Chanhassen can get the push off the line of scrimmage, they got big linemen as well. It's going to be a long, long afternoon for this front 7 for Cooper.
First down now from the Cooper 23. No score on the board. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, and I didn't see exactly why we stopped here, but maybe an equipment thing. Now we're ready to go as they wind it up and tell the Storm they can go ahead and go. Handoff goes to Kirchhoff. A lot of orange there, and Ngachu and many others within range. And I'm getting the feeling that keeping defensive stats for Cooper's got to be a little tough because not a lot of solo tackles. There's a lot of bodies hitting him.
No, Jay, when you alluded earlier to jumping on the pile to get credibility, I don't know if you had watched some of my games when I used to play, but I was king of doing that. But, one thing I'm watching is watch the splits of the offensive linemen here. I mean, they're a good 3-4 feet. You see that between the center and the guard. And what that does is it gives them better angles, more space, better, tackling angles or blocking angles.
Hutton running option and ran out of room to try and pitch that one. He was being wrapped up, so he wisely decided wasn't going to be a good idea to try and pitch at that point because you never know where it's going to go.
Well, and again, you can see Alonzo Hawley, the middle linebacker, flying through the gap there. And just kind of a slow developing play. When you're playing against speed like Cooper has, that option's got to be the quick, and you got to get to the outside where you can make a play. And so far, Alonzo Hawley's been all over the place from that linebacker position.
3rd down and 8 now for the Storm. And we've got flags down before this one can get started.
Well, offsides against Cooper, that's big. It was 3rd and 11 there, Jay. You get 5 yards. Now you're in that 3rd and medium, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. And that's where that dive comes back into play now.
From the 20 now. 3rd and about along 6 here for Hutton and crew. Looking to throw. Dumps it off over the middle to Kirchhoff. And he is met and dropped at the 15. Going to be just short of the first down, it looks like. As a stop made for Cooper by Adrian Jackson.
Yeah, and watch Kirchhoff come on this. It's a little wraparound play. He goes wide and he snaps it back inside. 2 things stand out there, Jay. One, great protection by the offensive line. No pass rush whatsoever. And Max and Hutton, he makes good decisions. You give him that much time, he's going to find someone open. And we're going to have a decision here to start off the second quarter. It's going to be 4th and short. We've already had a missed field goal. Do you go for it and try to get 7, or do they give their kicker another chance?
0-0 after 1. We'll be back with our second quarter here from Cooper High School. Homecoming 2014, the 50th anniversary of the school opening.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
4th down, and the Storm lining up to go for it here to start the second quarter. Kirchhoff has a big gap, breaks a tackle. Kirchhoff close to the goal line. Did he reach it over? Yes, touchdown. Chanhassen converting on 4th and short from the 15, and Kirchhoff able to show his toughness and work his way in for the score.
Well, you said it, Jay, his toughness. Watch this power I formation. Kirchhoff right behind. Look at that speed. Watch this extra effort. For those of you watching, those young running backs, keeps those legs chopping and is able to reach right across the line of scrimmage. That's a big-time run right there. Kirchhoff, his 6th touchdown of the year.
Extra point attempt is up and good from Mahabadi. So 1 play into the second quarter, Chanhassen takes a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, and look at the kick, the double team. Nice job by the O-line. And then Kirchhoff just says, give me this last 6 yards. I'll do it myself. Now, what's interesting there, if you see that replay, his knee actually hit the ground at about the 3-yard line. If this was the NFL, there'd be a flag. And watch his knee. You can see it down right there on the ground before he gets down. Of course, we don't review that. And his elbow's down as well, but great effort. And maybe you just reward a kid like that with the effort and touchdown. But I think if this was the NFL, Jay, it'd be 1st and goal on the 1.
Yeah, I was watching through binoculars, and that's why I hesitated, because I knew that he had gotten the ball over, but it kind of looked like it wasn't all in one motion. It was kind of a knee down, then reach, but the kind of a bang-bang play. And quite honestly, I'm perfectly fine with the fact that high school football might occasionally have a mistake and doesn't go, let's check with the replay booth.
No, but that was an impressive 4th down. I like the call. I like going for it, getting on the road against a 3-0 team. Big day for them. You say, let's get a touchdown first.
Mahabadi this time kicking into the wind, and it's going to be fielded at about the 10, but then quickly stepping out of bounds, not quite aware where he was, it looked like, was Derek Williams. So Cooper not going to have good field position again. They've started at the 20 a couple times. This time they wish they were at the 20. This will be at about the 12.
You know what I'd like to see, Cooper? They've obviously Levante Taylor. You give him the rock as often as you can, but I've been really impressed with Phil Howard's arm. And they've been pretty successful throwing the football. Let's see if they try going over the top again, loosen that defense up. Sometimes you get a few plays down the field that opens up things for your running back. Just ask Adrian Peterson that question.
I think sometimes, too, if you're sending a couple receivers deep, it can open some things up for shorter, pass over the middle, underneath stuff that way, too.
Yep.
Here's the give to Taylor. Losing helmets along the way. Chanhassen guys, I'm sorry. I knew they'd do that at least once today. Chanhassen Storm, Jack Matson in on the stop first of all, and then his cohort Justin Wilson losing his lid on the play there.
Well, Justin Wilson, he's all over the place. We've said his name a couple times. Comes into the game as their leading tackler. 43 solo tackles in 4 games. So he's their middle linebacker. He calls their defenses and sets their strengths. So obviously he's got to go out here for a play, but they'll want to get him back out there as soon as possible.
Taylor got about 3 on that carry, so 2nd and 7 from the 15 now for Howard and crew. Fakes it to Taylor. Howard rolling right, throws, and incomplete. Tried to go to Smith just a little high. Howard's had a 1-for-4 start. Very first play of the game was a completion, and then has missed on the next 3.
I love that play. If you watch that, Melvin Newburn, the receiver there on the right side, he was running a fly. So he was bringing the defense down, and it was a great ball fake by Howard. He had Smith wide open. Smith could have just had to turn the corner. He would have had about a 15, 20-yard window. But I like the play call. We just got to get settled down. And you wonder, too, with Cooper, 3-0, they haven't really had to play with a deficit much this year. How are they going to be able to respond?
Howard steps into it, fires, and Smith had that one right in his hands and dropped it. Should have been a completion, but couldn't bring it in, and they'll have to punt.
Yeah, great footwork. Beautiful ball. A little wobbly right there, but he set his back foot, hit him right on the numbers. That's a ball Smith, came into the game with 8 receptions, so he's very capable. Sometimes when you know you're open, that ball's coming, you maybe know a hit's coming, so you take your eyes off of it just for a second. And that's a big play. That would have been a big first down pickup. Instead, they're punting on their short end of the field.
Marshall will kick. Branyan waiting near midfield. A little bit of a high snap, but plenty of time. With the wind, it's a great kick. Branyan will take it at the 42. Made the first guy miss, but not the next, as he was brought down in the open field by Ja'Kai McNeil. But again, the field position battle has definitely been with the Storm here in this first half.
Yeah, nice big punt. Good air on it. I'll tell you what, whenever Kenyon Brannon gets the football, he reminds you almost like just one of those tall deer. I mean, he just runs. He's got good length, good height, good speed. He's electric. You can see why Chanhassen wants to try to get him the ball any way they can.
About a 43-yard punt and a 7-yard return, and they're right just the nose of the football into Cooper territory.
Look at the space between the left guard and tackle.
Handoff going to Kirchhoff, and Ngachu makes the tackle, but not before he picks up about 5 or 6. 6-yard gain for Kirchhoff.
Yeah, and you know why they do that, Jay, especially in that dive, is that it gives that left tackle, if he's spaced out, an extra couple yards, it's a very easy block down to open up that big gap. And a lot of times to counter these wide spaces, a defense will line up in the gaps and try slanting to break that up. Here you can see it's not quite as big of a gap as the last play.
Hutton, play action, dumping it over the middle and complete. So he hooks up there with Shea, and that'll be a first down for the Storm.
Well, Matt Shea, the tight end, great ball fake right there. You get the linebacker. You've been running this trap play and this dive play over and over. Linebackers come up. You sneak the tight end right behind him. That's just an excellent play call and a great execution by Max and Hutton.
Got about a dozen. Fakes the handoff to Kirchhoff, and Hutton is dumped. Coming up from the corner to hit him first was Ethan White, and then got a little help as well. Scraping down from Willie Staple.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do. You got to have your cornerbacks coming in, making plays. Otherwise, you would allow Hutton to turn the corner. Great play by White.
Play action again, and just got it away as he was being hit, and he has Shea again down inside the 20. So about the 16-yard line here, so another nice pickup for the Storm.
Again, just the same play they just ran, that fake dive. You get the linebackers to come in. You got an athletic tight end like Matt Shea. He just slips in. He's got good hands. And good poise by Hutton, too, staying in there.
Left side handoff, and Kirchhoff, see where they'll mark him down. He spins forward to about the 9.
You can see, too, Chanhassen, Jay, going no huddle, trying to wear this defense out. You can see head coach Willie Howard just begging for a timeout, trying to get his defense set, stop kind of this momentum. You know, it's a good rhythm this Chanhassen team has. Now I like their diversity, mixing it up with the run and the pass. And they got this Cooper defense, you know, who's only allowed 7 points per game this year, really out of whack.
I think that's a great timeout.
I do too.
In 2 ways. You break the momentum a little bit of the Storm and also get your guys back on the same page. And sometimes, you know, coaches want to wait and save the timeout for the end, but I think this is a perfect time for it.
No, the best advice I ever got, actually, Bud Grant, I heard him talking about timeouts. And he said a timeout, it doesn't matter when you use it, it's what you get out of it. You know, and this is a chance maybe to talk to his linebackers about that play action, you know, get his defensive ends to come down, shut that dive play off. You know, just a great chance to kind of reset. Okay, guys, you know, we bend here, let's not break again.
Coach Howard discussing something with the officials right now, and they're actually looking down toward the south end of the field. And
I don't know if they're talking about the time that's on the clock, if it wasn't stopped when he called that timeout.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. It could be a little bit of a ploy to try and use a little time here, too, but they are going to go discuss it with Bill Rosberg now, too, so it must be something with the clock, I would guess. They were definitely looking down toward the scoreboard. I can't really imagine it would be anything other than to do with time, I guess.
So, Jay, think about the difference. You know, the first drive, Chanhassen half, we saw dive after dive after dive. Just this drive alone, you've seen the dive play. You've seen a quarterback keeper out of it. We've seen 2 play actions out of it. So a great mix and match here of runs, passes, different types of runs. And I think when you have that kind of balance, it really makes you hard to stop.
I think they are going to, it sounds like, add a little time back. And I definitely think this is helping out Cooper a little bit.
9 minutes and 40 seconds. Yeah, Jay, they put on an extra about 16 seconds up to 9:40.
So second and a couple from the 9-yard line. Chanhassen trying to build on a 7-0 lead. Back to Kirchhoff, and he is met and driven back hard. Couple of Hawks there meeting him as Adrian Jackson and John Jansen were ready.
Yeah, and a nice job by John. He sheds his blocker, the fullback, coming at him. And that's what you got to do. When they run a power eye like that in isolation as a linebacker, you got to take on that fullback and somehow keep your hands free and make a play. And he did just that. Nice play, John Jansen.
3rd and a yard now for Chanhassen here, early second quarter. Kind of a key sequence here for both teams. They want to try and go up by 2 scores. Hutton will go back to Kirchhoff. Wrapped up and dragged down, but he should have the first down here down to about the 5-yard line, and he will definitely pick it up. Going to be first down and goal to go here for the Storm.
Well, and you can see great job of blocking. Eric Mason, number 66, Isaiah Kent, Schneider. When they've needed, 3rd and short or 4th and short, Jay, they've gone to that left side, and they're getting some good blocking.
Kirchhoff spinning free, and he is in for the touchdown. His second of the day as he scores this one from 5 yards out, and Chanhassen will stretch the lead now to 13 and possibly 14 as the extra point ahead.
Well, and that's just a heck of a play right there. Run into that left side again. You can see they get the double team, and get number 60, Isaiah Kent Schneider, downfield blocking. And that's tough running right there. Number 25, Cole Kirchhoff, his second touchdown of the game.
Yeah, but a penalty against Chanhassen before the conversion can take place here, procedure.
You know how everyone says, too, you run the ball to set up the pass? I almost think with Chanhassen, they want to run the football, but their pass, that play action, softened that defense up enough where they're able to then get more out of the running game. I really like the balance of that last drive.
And not much on this kick, and it hits the upright, so no good. He really chunked it. He hit that one fat, and you could tell it didn't have much. It was fluttering the whole way.
And that could come into play. Obviously, every point's different. But here's another look at that. I want you to see the double team right there on Chanhassen by the guard in the center, number 66, Eric Mason, number 53, Matt Kerjans. And when you get that kind of push and a running back like that as well, I mean, that's just hard to guard.
Here's a look. This kick, as we said, it wasn't pretty, but it still almost got through. It was high enough, but just hits the upright.
Well, and that's, 2 kicks here today we've seen miss towards the Chanhassen sideline. So the wind blowing pretty strong to that way, and both kicks have missed on that side of the goalpost.
Mahabadi will kick it off here. Taylor is waiting back in the middle deep. Last time they put a kick right along the sideline that was caught but run out of bounds by Williams. So Cooper looking to get a little better field position this time. Marshall coming up, but it's going to bounce. He catches it on a hop, though, at about the 18. Tried to reverse field, still on his feet. Marshall now brought down at about the 20. So a lot of running, but never really escaped, and brought down by Quinn Lanners and Robert Nordby there for the Storm.
Yeah, good effort. You can see Marshall. It looked like his knee touched down there at that one point. Trying to make a big play. It looked right there, but it looked like he did keep up. Nice job by special teams for Chanhassen containing them. That's what you tell your gunners on the outside. Nothing gets outside of you. Funnel everything back to the middle. And now this Cooper team needing, down 2 scores, needing a big play or a big drive.
Handoff goes to Taylor. Taylor with a little room, bouncing it to the outside. Levante Taylor is loose over the 45-yard line, and the Cooper crowd, for the first time in a little while, getting something to really get excited about as Taylor breaks it free for 26.
Well, you can see the push there by the offensive line. Nice job. What I love, too, watch Taylor's patience. He's got so much speed, but he kind of waits patiently. Look at all those downfield blockers for the Hawks. That was just a great team run, and, of course, great patience by Levante Taylor.
From the 46, a little breathing room. They go right back to Taylor. Much shorter pickup this time, as you'll get 2, maybe 3.
And there's that Justin Wilson again coming down the alley there. They've been very, very sure tacklers today, this Chanhassen defense.
I asked Taylor, about being a little hot again and having to play a lot, and I'm ready to play all plays needed. He said, we're in condition. Here's the pass. It's complete. Newbern on the catch. Shakes off a tackle and does a good job protecting the ball, because once they got him stood up, the Storm, the next guys in, were trying to rake it free, but they didn't get it. They'll get about 6 on that completion.
Yeah, and that's one of those kind of quick bubble screens right there. Kind of slow developing, but a nice job by Newbern. I love that he's fighting for extra yards. And Chanhassen, we talked about Cooper, everyone running to the ball and good pursuit. Chanhassen also doing an excellent job of getting everyone to the ball.
Hand off to Taylor, shrugged off the first tackle, couldn't get away from the next guy, Aaron Rogers, and going to be short of the first down. He was able to lunge forward for a couple.
This is a big decision for head coach Willie Howard, and he's leaving his offense on the field, maybe sensing the urgency that his team needs to get on the board.
4th and a couple. They go to Taylor, and Taylor is going to get the first down, I think.
Yep.
Got driven back a little bit, but it's appeared that he'll have enough.
Well, we've talked about his speed, Jay, but what about that? He took a couple of hits, and watch him, his power in his body lunging forward. There's the first point of contact right there. He's able to get that extra 3 yards out of it, reaching the ball across for a first down. A gutsy call by Willie Howard. We saw Coach Bill Rosberg from Chanhassen go for it on 4th down, get a touchdown. Is this 4th down going to also, result in a scoring drive for Cooper?
I think they feel like they need to make something happen right now, too, down 2 scores, and they're, showing them that we've got to be aggressive here. Right back to Taylor it goes. Taylor brought down from behind there by Rogers, but it's not a bad gainer, as he'll rip off 4 or so.
The problem with that, though, Jay, is you feel that way, but all of a sudden, if you do get stopped, you've given the ball over, down 2 scores at midfield again. So it's a risk-reward play, no question about it. I personally like going for it on 4th down. It shows confidence in your kids, and they reward you by getting it, and now you've extended a drive.
2nd down and 6 coming up here for the Hawks. And breaking into the secondary, still on his feet. Oh, a great run. They gave Taylor a break, and Alonzo Holly getting it done for the Hawks.
Yeah, a little change of pace, a little bit more physical back. He's also short, but look at the power here. Keeps those legs going. That's what you do. You got to keep those legs moving. He breaks about 4 or 5 tackles on that play, and that's a big first down, big play for Cooper.
Looks like a timeout being taken here. And as you see Holly completing this physical run, let's go down to Lindsay.
Thanks, guys. Right before Cooper came out in the field for that offensive drive, I caught Levante Taylor on the sidelines firing his team up. If anyone's going to carry this team into halftime, it's going to be him. And then he came out and had that great 26-yard run, setting them up in great field position. So excited to see what they can do with just a few minutes before heading into halftime.
Thanks, Lindsay. And no doubt this is kind of a key drive for them for momentum, but also, you don't want to go into halftime down 2 scores like this. So they need to try and finish right here, no doubt. And Chanhassen, they're kind of like we said for the other way with Cooper. Now they needed to stop the momentum a little bit.
Well, and I tell you, too, just a mindset of being down 1 score versus 2 is a totally different feeling, because you're down 2, you not only do you have to score, but you have to make another or a series of big plays to get back in the game. If Cooper's able to score down 6 or down 7, all of a sudden you feel like, hey, we're just 1 play away from getting back involved. And again, that's where that extra point, the missed extra point, could really come into play.
Howard and crew at the 18 looking to throw. Howard throwing for the end zone. And it's complete for the touchdown. Cooper is on the board as he hits Marshall. Well thrown ball out to the corner. He's throwing that ball a long way from the other hash, and it's complete for the touchdown.
Well, I just love that play, and I love Phil Howard. He's got great presence. As he's looking to his right, he's throwing that knee safety help over to his right, comes back to his left, and he put that ball. When you tell a quarterback you're throwing a corner in the end zone, you want to throw it where only your guy has a chance to catch this. Look at this ball on the upper outside hands where only Jordan Marshall could go up and get that. He's a big, strong athlete. Looked like Des Bryant right there.
They go for 2, and Levante Taylor easily in for the conversion, and now 13-8 as Cooper finishing a drive in style.
Yeah, big play. I love, Phil Howard. I thought, Jay, his balls tonight, even though he's missed one, he missed Marshall going deep on one play, but he's been pretty accurate, pretty solid. And knowing that threat is there, I think is only going to open up Levante Taylor, near the line of scrimmage. So great call, great answer by Cooper, and a big 4th down conversion. Yeah, here's another look from the end zone here. Look at that ball. That ball was either going to be incomplete or Marshall was going to be the only one catching it. You don't want to throw that low or inside where a defender can get a perfectly thrown ball. And I like they're capitalizing on it, going for 2. That whole, Jay, you and I could have probably scored on that 2-point. I'm still recovering from a torn Achilles, so maybe just you. But great job by the offensive line. That's a big answer. And it goes down to that fourth and short play that we talked about. You give your team confidence by saying, you know what, we can get that. And all of a sudden they respond with a big, 8-point drive.
Marshall with the kickoff, drifting back to field it as Levi Rice. And down he goes. He almost shrugged off that hit. It was kind of a high hit, not really a wrap-up, but it was enough to knock him off balance. And so now the Storm will get the football back. 5:41 to go here first half. And Chanhassen leading at 13-8, but Cooper just getting on the board, and we'll see if their defense builds on that offensive momentum.
Well, one of the keys that I had written down, Jay, before this game, Chanhassen has turned the ball over in their 4 games. Maxon Hunt, he's thrown for 5 interceptions. And this defense at Cooper, they have 6 interceptions and 7 fumbles. So I always wondered, too, if Cooper was going to be able to turn Chanhassen over. Let's see if Chan takes a shot and maybe Cooper is able to get a big play defensively.
Hutton bobbled that one, and now he's in trouble in a sea of orange there to bury him as Jackson gets there first. Joe Albert was there as well. Hutton never had a real good handle on this one, and as he tries to get out of there, he's pretty well sealed up right away. He's forced back in, and then Jackson drags him down. Actually, he got almost entirely a solo tackle there.
Well, the big play, even though he missed the tackle, number 4, Moses Nyangacha, he set the edge right there. He forced Hutton to turn it back. Great pursuit by Cooper, and that's a big play on first down. It's putting them, there's a false start by the running back right there.
Second penalty on Chanhassen.
Well, and we talk about momentum. Now you're 2nd and 19. You know, if Cooper's able to get off the field, get their offensive ball back, we still have 5 minutes left. They could potentially have gotten from 13-0 to maybe even the lead heading into halftime.
We talked earlier, of course, this isn't a 15-yarder like Cooper had, but penalties just changed the complexion of a drive a lot.
They're spreading it out now. 3 wide to the right. There's a 4th in motion.
Hutton fakes the handoff. He's got some room up the middle, and then he's hit hard and dropped, and Gotcha getting there.
I tell you what, that's a different play than what we've seen, Jay. They went trips wide to the right, had one receiver to the left, put him in motion, and a great ball fake. Everyone on the defense went to the left, and quarterback Hutton was able to keep that. And there was a big hole, and he got just enough where this is now a manageable 3rd down.
3rd down and about 6, maybe 7. They're going to be timeout taken first, though, by Chanhassen. Kind of, I think, recognizing that this is a pretty key play in the overall scheme of things, too. That's definitely what you'd like. I mean, the odds of getting it all back at once aren't that great, but you get a nice run like that, and now you're in a spot where you've got, you got a lot of options in your playbook.
Well, and I like the idea, too, of coaches and coordinators, thinking of a 2 to 3 play series. Okay, it's 2nd and 19. We don't need to throw a 30-yard bomb to try to get it all, but let's get our best opportunity. Where can we get 12 yards? And they did that. They ran a formation and a play that we haven't seen. I hadn't seen on tape yet this year, and it caught Cooper off guard. They get up big enough, and for a team like Chanhassen that runs that dive play, that's always a threat. Now you're in 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. That's still an option. So now your whole playbook is back on the table, and that's a lot harder for a defense to prepare for.
So 3rd down coming up here for the Storm out of that timeout. Hutton looking to throw, and it's intercepted. Picked off. Holly spins his wheels at about the 25, but Cooper will be in great field position after a great interception.
Well, we talked about it, a few minutes ago. Turnovers by Chanhassen in their first 5 games. Holly, who's coming off an interception for a touchdown last week, you can see the athletic play, and just a great play. And this is what we talked about, them being opportunistic, Cooper on defense. And I just don't think that Hutton saw him there. Holly was not very tall, but he got off the ground there. Great play, and a big play at that.
Howard running it. He's into the secondary. Philip Howard reaching the ball forward near the 10-yard line. It'll be a first down for the Hawks.
Well, did you see his footwork there, Jay? It almost looked like he was skiing on moguls, just back and forth. Great balance, his feet together. He missed a number of people, made a number of people miss. Look at this one here. Boom, back that way. Just great footwork. And their running back coach for Cooper is Tellis Redmond, who I played with at the University of Minnesota. He was a heck of a running back in his day.
Taylor driving his feet forward inside the 5 to about the 4. It was 1st and goal, and now 2nd and goal after another nice run. Yep. And the Hawks in business.
And keep in mind, they got Jordan Marshall wide left, who's got about a 2 or 3 inch height advantage if they wanted to throw that corner to him.
Fake it to Taylor. Howard then follows him into the hole and will pick up a yard or 2. That one didn't look real smooth. I think Taylor expected to get the ball there, and he kind of slowed when he didn't get it. So 3rd down, goal to goal here, and I got to believe they're going to be looking to go for it regardless of what happens on this play.
Yep.
They're at about the 2-yard line. This time Taylor gets it, and he'll be in easily for the touchdown. Cooper goes in front.
Well, Jay, I'm going to go back to that fourth down conversion on the last drive that Cooper converted. And since then, they marched down, got 8 points. Big defensive interception by Holly, and just 3 big plays. Good runs by both Howard and Taylor. And he's so short, but he's so explosive. And before you knew it, he was in the end zone. But a nice answer here by Cooper in the last 5 minutes of the second quarter.
They go ahead 14-13 and now looking to go for 2 again here. And they're going to have flags fly to push them back. See if this might be changing to now kicking rather than going for 2.
No, but coming, getting from 8 yards in as opposed to 3 is a whole lot different. I'd expect maybe some type of Marshall bubble screen or a deep ball to Marshall. One thing we haven't seen is Taylor catching the ball out of the backfield yet.
Two receivers each way here. Howard looking to throw. Now he'll tuck it and try to get to that corner, and he's going to make it. 2-point conversion, good again. 16-13 Hawks.
That's a tough play to defend, Jay. He wanted to throw that up to Marshall. Saw some good coverage, but also saw that he could break contain. And that's when you have an athletic quarterback like that can just turn upfield. And he's got great speed. So here's the touchdown back to Levante Taylor. A nice big hole. Just a great down block there by the tackle. And the running backs get all the credit, but this line has done a great job here the last couple of drives. And look at that decision making. You could see he wanted to throw that up to Marshall and instantly knew that it wasn't there, but I could get to the end zone. He turns on the burners, and they're 2 for 2 on 2-point conversions, 16-13. And what a response by Cooper here on homecoming.
I like the way they didn't panic, too. I mean, sometimes everything's more or less gone pretty rosy the first 3 weeks. You get behind a little bit, you're all jacked up for the game, and it would be easy to kind of start wondering what's happening and pointing fingers and everything. It doesn't look like it happened.
No, and they didn't do anything out of character to get back in the game. They just executed better. And they had, a couple of big runs, that big 4th down conversion, and sometimes all you have to do is, get a little bit of taste of success, and you start believing in what you're doing.
Ball's loose as Quinn Lanners couldn't handle that kickoff. A lot of orange at the bottom of the pile. We'll see who's got it. Looks like Cooper's got it, and they do. Recovery, I believe, made there for Cooper by Camu Anderson, 43. But Lanners, I think, looked up a little bit to see what was coming and never fielded this ball cleanly. And at this point, it squirts away from him, and then a lot of orange getting there, and I think it did wind up kicking over to Anderson. So you thought it was great enough that they went up 16-13.
Yeah.
Now they get the ball back again at the 28.
Yeah, and there's still plenty of time left, 2:47, especially with this high potent offense.
Howard's pass complete. Here is Hall down inside the 10. Swings it out there to Thomas Hall.
I love this play. Just a quick bubble screen. Great blocking downfield. And Thomas Hall does a nice job of getting into the seam there and kept fighting for extra yards. He gets down to about the 3 or 4 yard line. He's going to set up 1st and goal. And this is where Cooper's tough because you got a running back like Taylor. You got a quarterback that can run like Howard. You also got a big physical wide receiver in Marshall. So you got a lot of options here.
They go to Taylor. Up the middle he goes, and into the end zone he goes. Hands it over to the official, and he's got the 3rd touchdown for Cooper here in the second half of this second quarter.
Well, we talked about it. It's a game of momentum. And Cooper, Chanhassen had it. Cooper snatched it away. And 2 big turnovers, the interception on defense and then the fumble on the kickoff. But then what do you do with it? And Cooper wastes no time. They get a big pass play. And then you get it to a guy who coming into this game is no stranger, 8 touchdowns in 3 games, add on 2 more. He's in double digits already on the season, Jay.
Howard looking to run it in. And he did get there. Howard reaching the ball over, and he is in. So 3 for 3 on 2-point conversions. And it's 24-13. Wow, 3 touchdowns in just over 3 minutes, about 3.5 minute span for Cooper. You couldn't have asked for much more.
Well, with about 8 minutes left in this quarter, if someone would have told you they'd have 24 points in 3 minutes, I wouldn't have believed you. And just a good push there by the offensive line. And you know, I've been impressed. I've talked about Phil Howard's arm, but I've been equally impressed just with his decision-making, Jay, and how quickly when he's going to tuck it in and run. You know, he's a very good runner and used to catching them. You know, he was a wide receiver the last couple of years, so he's used to making plays with his legs. But turnovers are huge. They can win you games flatly, and they can lose you games. And right now, Chanhassen, the last 2 times they've had the ball, they've turned it over. And they just got to settle down, and there's still 2:24 left. Time for them to come down and maybe respond here before the end of the half.
Marshall drilling it a little deeper this time, back to about the 10-yard line where Brantley takes it, and he breaks free. Brantley dancing through a tackle nearly to the 40-yard line. So pretty good field position here for the Storm. Down to 1 timeout left for them, but they try and get a little of that momentum back here late in this first half. They have to feel a little bit shell-shocked by the way things have turned on them.
Well, and this is where you just got to settle down. You got a senior quarterback who's a captain, and Maxon Hutton. He's got to tell his guys, listen, let's calm down. I made a bad throw the last time. We're going to come down and we're going to respond, get 7 points before we head into halftime.
From their own 39, the Storm starting the drive, and Kirchhoff takes the handoff, and he is wrapped up and dropped there as good strength by Curtis Bell again to drag him down.
Yeah, and he's a D lineman. He's a little undersized D line, but he's very quick and he's strong. And he does a nice job. They slanted inside there before that double team could get to him, and really a firm tackle on that play.
About a 2-yard pickup there for Chanhassen as we've ticked under 2 minutes to go here in this first half. Cooper has turned things around in a hurry in the second quarter. Back to Kirchhoff. And wrapped up after a decent pickup. John Jansen got him there as he crossed the 45. Give him about 4 more on that one. So 3rd and a long 3 here for Chanhassen.
Well, one thing a team does, too, if they get some turnovers, Jay, is they start to get conservative. They play not to make mistakes. And you don't want to do that either. I mean, this is their brand of football, running the football. But you got to stay aggressive here. Mistakes happen, but how do you respond to them? And you got a senior quarterback. You want to let him, get a chance to win you the game.
And got you wrapping up the ball carrier, Isaac Boyum. And they are not going to get the first down. Well, a little closer than I thought, but still short, it appears. Oh, I'm sorry, it is not short.
Oh.
It's right on the line.
Oh, I don't know about that spot. Head coach Willie Howard's not sure about that spot either. It looked like Nagachu got him behind that marker, but that's a great Chanhassen spot. We'll see where this momentum carried him, but Nagachu got him right there. I mean, you can see where that first down is. I mean, that looks like that's a good yard short of the first down.
He just was not very excited about being on TV.
Yeah, now I'm not embarrassed at my original call of being short.
Yeah, no.
Looking at that. Now, I guess not much you can do to change it at this point, so
Yeah,
I'll have to get back to work.
yeah.
But
What about it? What you say? I can't hear you. Speak slower and hold the button longer.
Yeah, you can see Coach Howard. He's questioning that spot, but it is what it is. We don't review that kind of stuff in high school football. And like you alluded to earlier, Jay, maybe that's a good thing at this level. But very friendly spot for Chanhassen.
now,
But that's a big play right there, Jay, because otherwise it's 4th and 1. With a couple of timeout left for Cooper, they get a punt. And the way their offense is going right now, who knows what could happen. Instead, it's a first down, and Chanhassen keeps their drive going. So that's a huge spot, a huge play here in the end of the first half.
Well, the clock, I think, should be running again after that stoppage, and it wasn't. Here's Hutton's throw. Oh, that was dangerous. Holly wound up with it, but it was already on the ground. Boy, he threw that one into a mix of players there, and they're fortunate to keep the ball.
Well, I think Holly's just a magnet to the football. He had that nice run on the last drive and already has an interception, and he's right wherever that football is. You can bet on that. Alonzo Holly is not too far away.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10 here for the Storm. Hutton dropping the throw, looking in, a nice catch going up over the top is Ben Carlson. There was a defender right there, but he just had the height advantage on him and is able to snare it.
And again, it was Holly right underneath it. I thought he was going to get his second pick. Watch the athletic play by by number 40, Carlson. He just went right over the top of Holly, and that's a great catch.
Also have an injury for Cooper on the play. Looks like it might be McNeil who is hurt.
Yeah, it looked like at the end of that play, someone rolled into him. He came in late. Let's see if we can take a peek here. Again, a nice-looking ball, too, but look at that play. Just a great athletic play by Carlson. And you can see there's McNeil coming in. It looked like it might have been his left ankle or knee. And there you can see him kind of holding his hip or his back. You know what I do love, Jay, is in high school sports now, both teams, whether it's a rivalry, whether they don't like each other or whatever's going on, it's always so respectful and classy if someone's injured, and you see both sidelines on the ground taking a knee, whether they're saying a prayer or just wishing them nothing but the best. I love that about high school sports. Yeah, and if you watch here, look, number 3, White's coming in. Watch his helmet go right into McNeil's back. You see that?
Yeah.
And actually, White lucky not to get a head injury on a play like that. But those can hurt. I can attest to that. I had many helmets into my back or into my ribs, and that's a painful thing. That's one of those things, too, as it goes on, the more inactive you are, the worse it gets. So one of the keys at halftime will be to keep that stretched out and keep him moving.
Could be a little kidney shot almost, it looks like, by where they're checking him, too. And it's kind of right in an area where you maybe don't have too much padding. So from the 30, 1st down, all of a sudden Chanhassen in business. Hit as he throws, gets it away, and broken up. White able to keep that one from the big receiver, Brannon. Got some pretty good pressure by Joe Albert on Maxon Hutton as he threw.
I like the ball. Great ball flight. Here's where I'd like to see. See how Hutton waited to go up and get that? He's got the height advantage. He's a tall kid. He's 6'3", 6'4". Hutton, all he can do is give him, the best chance to go make a play at the highest level. And you want your big receiver to just go up and get that.
Hutton this time rolling right. He'll throw and incomplete as it was out front a little bit too much for Chad Mapes.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw that. Chad Clute, who's a linebacker but also plays, fullback, had him right in the flats, and actually no one guarding him. If he would have been able to just do that check down, get it to Clute, he would have been able to turn that up for a 1st down. It's tough when you're a quarterback rolling one way or the other, keeping those eyes downfield. You get locked into one receiver. As Vikings fans know, watching Christian Ponder the last few years, that happens.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Philip Howard's now in defensively in this key situation at a cornerback spot for Cooper. Going to roll right again. Throws on the run, and this one short of Shea there. And bring up a 4th down now for Chanhassen.
I think, Jay, at this field position with the time left, I think you go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's enough time where if you are able to get a big play, get a 1st down, if nothing else, maybe you're in field goal range or at least setting up a chance for a touchdown. So I like the call here, keeping, Bill Rosberg keeping his offense on the field.
So after that big completion to the 30, they've had 3 straight incomplete. 4th down and 10 here for the Storm. Hutton looking down that sideline again. Same thing, and this time it is picked off. White stayed in position and makes the interception in the end zone. Cooper's second pick of the day. And they will have a touchback here with 22 seconds left in the first half. So the Cooper defense holding here after Chanhassen had pretty good field position and enough time to do something with it.
Yeah, and they're trying to get Kenyon Brandon, their big playmaker, the ball. You just got to give him a chance to make a play. That ball was overthrown by about 3 or 4 yards. You know, just throw it up. Give your best athlete a chance. And that's what you ask for from your quarterback. And I like that they took the shot, Jay, and you know, hats off. Ethan White, number 3, he's been all over the place in that secondary for Cooper's defense. He gets a big interception. That's 2 of them on the day.
See if Cooper will be conservative or if they'll go for something big here. They are going to throw. Howard now running toward the line. He's going to tuck it and run, and he'll skip out of bounds after about a 4-yard pickup. Only 15 seconds to go. Cooper staying aggressive here. And
well, he had Armani Smith, number 34, and he had Melvin Newborn downfield. It looked like he was going to maybe throw it up, give them a chance to make a play. But you like the decision making. He's made good decisions all day today. Didn't feel right with it. Gets out of bounds, avoids taking a hit.
Yeah, the last thing you want is a big play going the other way at the end of the half, too, when you've taken the lead like this. So 2nd down and 6, but not much time remaining here for Cooper. Holly is in the backfield next to Howard. He fakes the throw. Howard still looking downfield, fires, and it's complete to Hall. And into Chanhassen territory with 4 seconds remaining. Hall's had a couple of big catches today. About a 28-yard pickup and another first down here.
Well, look at the poise by Phil Brown. He gets a nice pump fake, buys some more time, gets outside. That's a tough throw, Jay, when you're rolling out to your left, throwing across your body as a right-handed quarterback, and he got a lot on that. He was accurate. I mean, that's a big-time, you know, that's a big-time college quarterback football play, much less at the high school level. Very impressive. And maybe even more than his physicality and his speed and his accuracy is just his decision-making. I mean, look at the poise back here. And you can see a great pump fake, even faked our camera guys out. You know, and look at how patient he is, calm. He's not urgent. And he sets his feet going across his body. I mean, that's big-time quarterback play.
So now they got one opportunity, 4 seconds left. I guess the choice probably is, do you throw it as long as you can and hope something happens, or do you maybe try and spring somebody on something shorter and see if they can get themselves loose and get a block or two?
Well, you got 2 things. You got trips to the right, a 4th receiver left. You know, let's see, Chanhassen, you're telling your guys nothing behind you. Watch trick plays. But I think if you can buy time, you just give it one shot here to the end zone, and that's what they're going to do.
Howard throwing it up deep for Marshall, and incomplete. And the half will come to an end. It was a little bit of Chanhassen momentum to start as they got the first 2 touchdowns. But Cooper roaring back with 3 TDs in a 3.5-minute span there late in the second quarter to take a 24-13 lead. And Ryan, we've had a little bit of everything, an entertaining first half, no doubt.
It has, and we've talked a lot about the quarterbacks and Phil Brown there, but he just threw that ball 58 yards. Phil Howard, excuse me. You know, he threw that ball 58 yards to the end zone. So he's got the strong arm, his decision making, and you combine, you know, Levante Taylor, his running ability. You know, just a very impressive end of the first half for the Cooper Hawks here on their 50th anniversary and their homecoming.
Great afternoon, and we're going to have some halftime festivities coming up for you in just a moment. But first, let's go down to Lindsay.
Thanks, guys. Coach Rosberg, the perfect example of a half where the momentum shifts. What are you guys going to have to do coming into the second half to turn things around?
Well, first of all, I just want to say I admire them for that second quarter. You know, you play a lot of teams and they get down early and you're not sure how they respond. It's good for us, to be honest. Still mid-season. We start with the football. But we do have to run and pass the ball effectively, and so we'll try and find that balance second half.
All right. Thanks so much, Coach. Best of luck. Thanks. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Lindsay, and we appreciate Coach Rosberg taking the time here. It's a little time out of his time getting to his team, so we definitely appreciate that. Well, a great second quarter for Cooper. They lead at 24-13 at halftime. We'll be back with some halftime festivities, our first half highlights, and then our second half of football here on 12 Sports.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
The great outside.
We both love the outdoors.
It's so shiny.
That's not a flower. We both love geology.
Oh, look. An igneous one.
That's not a rock. And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
That's not a dog. Hanging out has been kind of fun.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams.
Michael Adams.
Students who miss 18 days of school in any grade risk falling behind and not graduating. Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today.
Adopting a new pet is a rewarding experience. And Shelter Pets make super pets. Your new best friend will steal your heart, bring you happiness, and enrich your life for years to come. You can make a difference in the life of an animal. Adopt and bring home a shelter pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Homecoming court here at Cooper High School as the Hawks lead Chanhassen 24-13 at halftime of the 50th anniversary homecoming at Cooper. Let's take a look at some first half highlights in this one. And entertaining second quarter after the first quarter was scoreless. First Kirchhoff breaking free and fighting his way in, just reaching the ball over. Maybe knee was down a little early, but it's a touchdown. That one came on the first play of the second quarter, and then they come back with Kirchhoff again, and they took a quick lead of 13-0. That one came only about 3 minutes after the first one, but then Cooper really started to take over. Handoff going here to Taylor, and he breaks off a 26-yard run to really get this drive started for the Hawks. And then it is a nice throw out to the left side, corner of the end zone, going from Howard to Marshall, right on target. Not really too bad a coverage, but they get the two-point conversion also. Trail 13-8. And then here is a pass picked off as Holly able to get up and take that one for the Hawks, and it immediately leads to more points as Levante Taylor gets in, breaking through one tackle and goes in for the score. That one was about just under 3 minutes after the previous one. Then Taylor gets it again after a muffed kickoff by the Storm. So Cooper building the lead here at 24-13. You see the rushing yards slightly in favor of the Hawks as the passing yards. First down's about equal, but the turnover is definitely big story right there, Ryan, and able to convert was Cooper too.
Well, and we talked to Willie Howard, Cooper's head coach, before the game. Turnovers, are you guys, is that something you've talked about? And he said, that's all we talked about, everyone getting to the ball. And this game really took a turn on, I think, 3 plays. One, 4th down conversion Cooper had on that drive to keep going and get their first touchdown. 2, the interception, which they converted. And then the very next kickoff was fumbled by Chanhassen. Cooper gets it 2 plays later in the end zone. So it was just a really turn of momentum there. Nice job by Cooper. As we heard Coach Rosberg say, we get down 13-0. They didn't quit. They come right back and really finish the half strong.
Cooper dance team outperforming here at halftime of this one too. And
someone said you had those same moves on Saturday night. Is that accurate, Jay?
Maybe when I was there. No, not even then. Not even close. Not at all. But we'll keep our eye and watch some more of the Cooper dance team here. It's a great opportunity for obviously the football team to perform before a bigger crowd maybe than usual, but also for the band and dance team and things like that. They obviously put a ton of hard work into things too, and I think it's a great opportunity for them to be out here and be seen as well.
No, it's a homecoming, and it obviously it's always based around a football game, but the band gets excited because they're going to have their biggest crowd. Like you just said, the dance team, the cheerleaders, you get a lot of different clubs all coming together, and it's really just about Cooper High School or whatever school you're at, and obviously the football game is featured. But homecoming, I think back to being in high school, those were always just the spirit and the environment around that game was always a little bit more exciting, a little bit more important to everybody.
And even though being under the lights is exciting, I think they're more visible really out here today on this beautiful sunny afternoon too, and get a chance to show off all the hard work that they've been putting in.
We saw the homecoming car and truck drive by with a couple of the players. That was always a struggle. I remember being at Eden Prairie. Mike Grant didn't want us, if we were on the homecoming court, we always had our dads go for us at halftime because he always thought that could be a little bit of a distraction. You still got a half of football to play. So that's something just to keep your eye on. I'm sure, we know Willie Howard. He's not going to let anything slip through the cracks. He's going to have his guys ready to go. But sometimes homecoming can be a little bit of a distraction. Let's see if that, plays a role at all here going into the second half.
Well, case in point, last night, Dexter Betts, Armstrong wide receiver, was the homecoming king. And before the game, I asked the Falcons coach, Jack Negan, is he going to get to participate in halftime? And he said, no, we need him in the locker room. But he was out there.
Yeah. Well, what was the score at halftime?
12-3, I believe.
Oh, so it wasn't over yet.
No, it was.
I remember, my senior year homecoming, we were up by 40 at halftime, and we still didn't get the green light to go participate. Although we did have a player, Jay, in Eden Prairie that was in the band. So he was the only one that was excused. He would go play in the marching band in his football equipment, and that was always we always got a kick out of doing that. But really a fun time for all these groups, like we talked about.
A dual threat, definitely there. You didn't see a whole lot of that, especially in the real big schools. So.
Well, and he played the trombone, so we always joked, keep it with him. He was an old lineman, use that to trip or help block, but never happened.
Looks like the band is about ready to go. We will listen in on the Cooper band. Nice performance by the Cooper Marching Band. Happy to bring you them on our football telecast here on 12 Sports. Cooper leading Chanhassen 24-13 at halftime of the 50th anniversary homecoming. We'll be back with much more here from Barbara A. Lehman Stadium here at Cooper High School on 12 Sports.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
Welcome back here to Cooper High School. Let's go down to Lindsay now with Coach Howard.
So much, guys. Now, Coach Howard, talk about a shift in momentum for you guys. It kind of all started with Levante Taylor's 26-yard run there. You guys had struggled early on in the first quarter, and the second quarter was all about the offense and some huge turnovers for you guys. What was talked about in the locker room?
Yeah, and even before the locker room, they came out, like I said before the game, they're a well-coached team over there, and so they made some adjustments before the game. So we had to change some things up second quarter. Once we made the adjustment second quarter, Levante was able to hit the holes, linemen find their blocks, and so now we got to see second half, get in there on the field and do the things that we're coached to do.
55 is better than 1. It's the motto on your guys' T-shirts. How proud are you of this team for how they turned around in the first half?
I'm excited because we talk about failure is not an option, and the kids, we're down 13-0, and for them to be able to put it behind them and say, let's get to our style of football, and they did that. Now we really got to show start fast. Now we got to finish faster.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
A very exciting second half about to start here between Cooper and Chanhassen here on 12 Sports.
Thanks, Lindsay, and thanks to Coach Howard, and definitely saw the effort that he wanted to see out of them. But we talked about too, Ryan, about some of it is adjustments during the game. Some of it is not panicking, and you like to talk about, we got fired up and we did this and that, but you gotta just stick with what you have done to get you to this point too, and they were able to do that.
When I coached in college basketball, Jay, we had a saying that it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes. And there's a lot of truth to that. Obviously, you want to have the right plays called at the right time, but it all comes down to blocking and tackling, your execution of what you've been working on all week. And you heard Coach Howard just talk about getting Levante. He's hitting the hole a little differently. Sometimes it's just a little timing. Maybe their alignment on the defensive line was a little different than what they had expected on film. And, those first couple series, you could see they did a nice job, Chanhassen, of slowing Levante down. And all of a sudden you just find out maybe you got to block it a little bit differently. Maybe it's a little different angle. Maybe Levante's got to hit it quicker, or so whatever it might be. And they've done a nice job. That last 5 minutes of the second quarter, was just explosive. That's what they're capable of.
I thought it was interesting, too, talking to Coach Howard before the season about, you got this new conference, you got some new opponents, and he said he didn't feel like it was that big of a deal to not have seen them in the past. He said because teams change from year to year anyway, we want to look at their week 2 and 3 film a lot more than we would want to look at a last year film anyway. Well,
and it's not like the NFL where you got the same quarterback for 10, 12 years and same, whatever. Year to year, maybe the schemes are pretty similar, but the really good programs, the really good coaches, they coach to their talent level. And one year it might be running, it might be passing, the next depending on what their skills are. And in high school, you generally have a class play for 2 years, and then you got a whole new wave. And so I totally agree with that. I do want to tell you, I saw a T-shirt that's down here right in front of us, Jay, that said the football team will be playing before and after the marching band. And we talked about just what a fun atmosphere homecoming is, and I thought that was a great T-shirt.
Cooper preseason telling me that hands down this was the best camp that they had since Willie Howard's come here, and you know, he said we had some question marks. We didn't have a ton of experience coming back here, but he said I could tell by the way these guys came to work prior to the season that he had no issue saying that this was the sharpest that any of his teams had been.
You know when a team takes off, and Lindsay alluded to it at halftime about the motto of 55 playing for one, but when you do realize that this is bigger than just yourself, and you actually start playing for your neighbor, your teammate, he might be only a sophomore, I don't know him that well, but he's part of my team, I got his back. When that kind of spreads and you really buy into it, that's when programs take off. That's when magic happens. That's when undefeated seasons or state tournament runs, can happen. And I think it takes a while to establish that culture, and Coach has certainly established that, and I think he's starting to reap the benefits of it.
I agree, and let's face it, sometimes when you get things like college recruiting coming into it, it gets people away from that track a little bit, and they start to worry about their own numbers and things like that. Now, I don't think there's anything more disappointing to me than when I see a player whose team won the game, but they maybe didn't have a great game, and they're pouting about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, as great as good momentum and good attitude spreads, that those cancers spread just as fast and just as quickly. And when you start worrying about your touches or, your stats, how many sacks or tackles or whatever, instead of just what's that final number say on the board, that's when stuff can go south in a hurry.
Marshall kicking off here for Cooper, and a good burst straight up the middle. Yes, he paid the price at the end, but good solid run back there for Chanhassen by Brantley. Or make that, Rice on the return. And it will be Storm football on their 35. Now, for all things that didn't go very well for them late in that first half, they're still very much right in this ball game. They played pretty solid for probably the first, 20 minutes or so of the game, and they got to get back to that on their side. First down handoff to the fullback, and powering forward is Drew Heyer, and he'll rip off about 5 yards. And although they like to be versatile and everything, I think they want to get that established again, that dive, and kind of dictate drives a little bit more again.
They did, and they had 96 rushing yards in the first half, 69 passing. Their best drive, Jay, was, remember when they had those play actions and hit the tight end for those two passes? I think they got to have a little balance. You're right. They want to establish that trap and that dive. But I think they're best when they do add a little bit of spice, a little, diversity to their offense.
Heyer falls forward and should have enough for the first down. It looks like just over the 45, and he will. So back-to-back 5-yard carries for Drew Heyer.
But you got to pound the rock in order to set that other stuff up. And you can see that's probably what they're going back to. Bill Rosberg saying, guys, this is who we are, what we do. Establish that. The other stuff will come, but it will not come until we dominate the line of scrimmage and are able to run the ball effectively.
This time kept by the quarterback, and Hutton didn't get a whole lot. He'll fall forward for a couple. I think one thing that being able to run the ball between the tackles does for you a little bit too, though, is you control the pace of the game. Cooper's eager to get the ball back and everything, and you can. I'm not saying you're looking to burn up the court or anything like that, but you establish yourself and keep them back on their heels a little bit.
Well, on a hot day like this too, you wear the other team out. You fatigue them both physically, but also what this is really trying to do is you're trying to wear Cooper out mentally, so that they get expecting, here's another dive, and then all of a sudden your body starts leaking in a little bit. That's when the play action comes and you get a big play. So it's important to establish this, but at the same time, you're down 11 points. You want to keep drives going, so you got to be able to do a little bit of everything, have a good balance.
Kirchhoff got about 4 just into Cooper territory here, so third down and a long 4 here for Chanhassen. Hutton working out of the shotgun, fakes it, and then he's going to take off himself. Broke one tackle, but he's not going to get there. However, a flag down, and his helmet was off, or maybe a face mask here perhaps.
And I think that was a designed run there too, Jay.
Yep, definitely face mask, and I agree. He didn't waste any time taking off.
He didn't even look to throw, but that's a huge play. This was going to be 4th down and about, I'd say, 2 yards. Instead, it's going to be a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. Let's see if we can see who grabs a face mask.
Actually, got the back of the helmet, I think, which also is illegal, so it kind of falls under that umbrella. I think he might have ripped the helmet off from underneath the back.
It was hard to see an angle there on the face mask, but either way, it's a big play, and it keeps this drive going. And they're only 2 scores down, just like we were talking about Cooper only being 2 scores down earlier. So we see how quickly, this game can change. So anything you can do, you keep the drive going, like you said too. You're keeping Cooper's high-powered offense off the field as well.
From the 32-yard line here, first down for Chanhassen. Kirchhoff met immediately. Nice stop by Albert. Had a chance to talk to Joe a little bit this week at practice, along with Philip Howard, Levante Taylor, Jalen Johnson.
Watch Joe Albert come right down. That would have been a great play if Maxon Hutton could have kept that ball, faked it, because he had the defensive end coming down the line exactly as Albert was coached to do. And usually they're hoping on that the defensive end either overruns that or stays with the quarterback, but a big play for no gain.
2nd and 10 now for the Storm. Kirchhoff coming in motion. Hutton looking to throw deep down the middle of the field and knocked away by the receiver, actually, from Ngachu, as Kirchhoff was the intended target, and it looked like it was going to be lined up for number 4 to get a pick.
Yeah, it was. Now watch this. This is, I like that they're taking a shot, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4 Cooper defenders within the 10 yards of that ball. That's where you could see the difference, with Cooper, with Phil Howard. See him looking one way and coming back, throwing the other way. You got to throw, you got free safeties, you got athletic, you got speed on the secondary here of Cooper. You got to look the guy off, give your receiver a chance to make a play.
3rd and 10. They fake the handoff to Kirchhoff, and Hutton breaks a couple tackles, and now he's free down that sideline. He'll have the first down. Ngachu finally comes over and makes a stop, but Cooper didn't wrap up. And they are made to pay by Hutton on a nice run.
Yeah, and you can see a great ball fake. It looked like he was going to get wrapped up, Jay, a couple of times there, especially one right there. And Hutton, I don't think he's got great speed, but he is kind of elusive. He's a little slippery. Came into the game, with 104 yards rushing, so definitely capable. But he's made a couple of big runs, none bigger than that on 3rd down and 10.
So 1st down and 10 from the 15-yard line now for Chanhassen. Up the middle, higher, bursting free, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Storm.
You can see, Jay, I'm watching the splits of the linemen. Whichever side has a wider split is where they're running that dive. You can see, look at the 4 feet of space between the guard and the tackle. Right up the middle, he's almost untouched. And you know what? That is huge for Bill Rosberg and his Chanhassen team. You're down 2 scores. You get the ball to come out at halftime, and they convert a couple of big 3rd downs. You get the penalty, and that's how you answer when you're down 2 scores.
Going to go for 2 here to try to pull them within a field goal. Cooper has gone for 2 and made it on all 3 occasions, which could turn out to be huge in this game. You get 8 points with every score instead of 6 or 7. Fake the handoff here, rolling right, and the pass is complete for the 2-point conversion. Caught there by Aaron Rodgers.
Not to be confused with the Green Bay quarterback.
Right.
It's Rott with the T, jurors, but I love that play call. Great ball fake. You could see everyone collapsed on the interior, and they're rolling out. And that was actually, I think that was his best ball, Maxon Hutton, because that was pretty well defended, Jay. He put that right in Aaron Rodgers' hands. Yeah, and here, look at the space between the center and the guard, and he's virtually almost untackled. And that's the other thing. You run trap, dive. You wear that defensive line out. Watch the placement of this 2-point conversion ball. I mean, he put it where only Rodgers could get it. It was defended extremely well by Cooper, but big drive, and they're down a field goal now, Jay. That's how you respond. And we heard Bill Rosberg, at halftime just say, how are we going to come out? How do we challenge our guys? Having good balance. Well, they had excellent balance there. And really a good drive.
Mahabadi kicking off here for Chanhassen. He put one in the end zone earlier in this direction, and a little collision, Marshall and Taylor. Marshall ends up taking it on the 1, breaks a tackle. Look out, Marshall getting free. And out over the 30 and finally brought down around the 35-yard line. A shaky start to that return as they nearly collided, or did collide, but it ends up all's well that ends well for Cooper.
Well, they made lemonade out of lemons right there. That looked like that was going to be a mishap from the start, kind of a slow developing play, but Marshall showing his athletic ability. That's why they love throwing and getting him the ball too. He makes big plays. He reminds me of like a Des Bryant or a Brandon Marshall, just one of those bigger, maybe not quite breakaway speed, but just a playmaker when he gets the ball.
So now it's Cooper's turn to try and answer that Chanhassen score here. 1st and 10 from their 35-yard line, and their first possession of half number 2 as Philip Howard comes out. He was 5 out of 10 for 96 yards in that first half. Swings it out to Taylor, looking to get him the ball in a little space, and driven back after not too much of a gain there, only a couple.
Well, and you alluded to it. What I love about that is, there's no question Levante Taylor is their playmaker, and he's so talented. Just find different ways to use him. And that time, instead of out of the backfield, they did a little wide receiver bubble screen, and even though it wasn't a big play, he still got 4 yards out of it. So you figure out different ways to get a guy like that the football, and I love that they're throwing to him. Any way you can get him in space is when you can.
Flag down on the play here, and this is going to be a false start against Cooper, their 5th penalty of the day.
Yeah, that was on the slot receiver. I couldn't see the number, but he got started a little bit early. Looked like he was cracking down to maybe block down.
So it'll be a 2nd and 12 coming up here for Cooper. Entertaining ball game here, Saturday afternoon football. Levante Taylor takes the handoff, and he is wrapped up and driven back. Good effort defensively by Jack Matson and crew for Chanhassen.
Well, Matson, he's part of that great linebacking crew with Justin Wilson, and he's lucky he grabbed him up because it looked like Taylor had some space if he was able to get to the outside there. But it's funny, Jay, we talked about it earlier, the momentum. Cooper had none of it, then had all of it, and now to start the second half, Chanhassen seems to have gotten it all, and they forced Cooper into a 3rd and long, and looks like you're going to get a timeout here on charge to Cooper.
I think Willie Howard pleading the case that Chanhassen didn't let up when the whistle blew and brought Taylor down pretty hard there. I think he's kind of sticking up for his guy a little bit. I guess once you're starting with the tackle, it's hard to really stop it, and
especially a guy like Levante who you've been chasing all game. You get a shot on him, you want to take it. It's hard to let up like that, but we've seen many time and time again that's how injuries get happened, and thank gosh no one got hurt on there, and they're just playing through the whistle, playing hard. But this is, I always put my mindset of, if you're on offense, what are you trying to do defensively? You got to tell your guys, Marshall's their big play guy on the outside. Don't let him get behind you. And somehow they're probably going to get the ball to Levante. You just funnel them in and wrap them up and gang tackle. And you got to have an idea defensively where that first down marker is. Just don't let anyone behind you get off the field now. Your offense is rolling. This is a big, big play for Chanhassen.
3rd and 11. Howard throwing and behind Smith and incomplete. He rushed that one a little bit, probably one of his poorer throws of the day, and now it'll be a punt situation for Cooper.
And that's really unfortunate for Cooper because Smith was wide open. Him and Marshall, were both slotted out to the right side running seams, and defense was really concerned about Marshall. Smith wide open, and really the first time Philip Howard has missed a guy here today.
Marshall the punter, Brannon waiting back deep. Ooh, and just gets this one away. A good kick, though. Brannon will field it on the 25. Got by the first guy, but not the next, as chopping him down was Ethan White right at the 25, 26-yard line. 1 yard return there.
Yeah, take a look at this punt. I don't know how they missed that. Sometimes when you are able in a position to block a punt, you're so worried about running into the kicker that you end up going to the side and missing that. But great special teams coverage. Ethan White had an interception earlier in the game. He's been all over the field. Excellent down the field tackle.
Good concentration by Marshall to get that one out of there and still get a good kick. But you're right, they were right there and it seemed like they could have blocked it.
Look at the spacing, Jay, on the right side of the line of scrimmage, or the left side, their left side.
Heyer takes a hard hit in the hole there, but he will pick up about 4. I'm sorry, make that Kirchhoff, 25.
He took a hit. He looks a little slow getting up.
There was some serious contact at.
Yeah, he's going to head out of the game. Watch that. Watch the collision here. You can see there's that double team on the center. Watch this head. Oh, just sometimes you get that shoulder.
Yep, shoulder to the jaw, maybe it looked like there. So Kirchhoff does indeed check out. Handoff up the middle again, and this one is going absolutely nowhere. Adrian Jackson wrapping up Heyer immediately. Solid in the hole tackle there by Jackson, wrapped him up.
Well, it's a good time. You can see Adrian Jackson, a linebacker, they're getting penetration now. They're starting to attack that dive. If I'm the offensive coordinator for Chanhassen, this is where that little play action, trying to get a tight end right behind the linebackers, might come in handy.
3rd down here for the Storm, trailing it by 3. Play action here. Hutton looking to throw deep down the middle. He's got Brannon. Makes the catch, and fortunately for Cooper, the contact knocked him down, or that one might have been a touchdown.
Yeah, I don't want to say I called it, but we did call it there. Great play action. Get their big receiver the ball. Look, that was a good throw. He gave his guy a chance where only Kenyon Brannon could go up and get that, and really fortunate that he tripped, or he would have taken that to the house.
Down to the 37 of Cooper, a huge first down. And they give the ball on the dive play. Handling it this time for the Storm was Isaac Boyum. His 2nd carry of the day, and he'll get a couple, maybe 1 yard, it looks like. 2nd and 9 coming up here for Chanhassen as they kind of taking the momentum back and trying to take the lead back, but Cooper clinging to a 3-point advantage right now as we've passed the halfway point here in this 3rd quarter.
Well, we talked about that balance again. Jay, Coach Rosberg talked about it too. Got to do just enough of something else so that this trap and these dives continue to be effective.
Heyer takes a handoff. Ball comes loose. Was he down? I think he was down already.
Yep.
And to rule it dead.
And that's a great call, and I like the efficiency of that call. You can see he got tripped up that time by his own guy. You can see he's clearly down on the ground when that ball comes loose. And Cooper is very fortunate. There was a big hole there. If he hadn't gotten tangled on his offensive guard's back foot there, he might have been able to break that for a big gain.
So 3rd and about 8 here from the 35 for Chanhassen. Cooper desperately wanting a stop here and get the ball back for their offense. Good time for Hutton. Throwing down the middle. Tipped, and it ends up in the receiver's hand, Mapes. Jackson had the best chance at that one. A fortunate bounce, but the Storm will take it.
Wow. You talk about bouncing in your direction here.
Looked like he was throwing into all orange.
Oh, Cooper there. I can't see who that was that got that.
Jackson, I think.
Was it Jackson?
Yeah.
Made a great play. Almost looked like he mistimed his jump a little bit. The ball went right off his tip and right into the hands of, is that Mapes that caught that? Yeah. I couldn't see the number. Yeah, Chad Mapes, who came in as their leading receiver as far as number of receptions with 23. And a great concentration. That's not an easy thing to do. When the ball's tipped in the air like that, you know you're in the middle, you know you're going to get hit. Just a really good, fantastic job by Mapes of concentrating and a lucky bounce for the Storm.
Chanhassen uses a timeout here, and this one, in the course of a game, sometimes you get the breaks one way, and this is clearly a break for them, and not a greatly thrown ball, but they'll take it.
Well, and again, I mean, just like that, they were down 11. They come down, they score 8 points, get the 2-point conversion. Now it's 1st and goal at the 1 with a chance to take the lead. So really both teams, I take my hat off as far as Cooper responding when they were down early and Chanhassen now responding to start the second half. You can see, I think Jackson just mistimed his jump a little bit. And you're always taught when you do defensive back drills, if you can't intercept it, what do you do, Jay? You bat it down. And that time it was like a volleyball set to the wrong guy. So a great effort. Of course, you applaud the effort. But if you heard the scream, I think that was a shout out to a certain Cooper reunion group.
Hand off here and an easy touchdown. Kirchhoff in from 2 yards out. Chanhassen back in front.
Well, that sure looked easy too, Jay. That's his 3rd touchdown of the day. Third, or is that his 4th? I think he had third. Yeah. But watch, I mean, a reverse pivot by the quarterback. Look at the down block on the left side. All 3 of his touchdowns have come on the left side of the line of scrimmage. They're getting great block downs from the tackle, the tight end, and the guard. They're just blocking everyone to the right in a big hole.
They're going to have an offside call against Cooper before this kick went up, as the outside rusher was clearly into the backfield a little bit before it. I thought the kick went through, but they're not giving him the option, I don't think, to take the kick. I think they whistled it dead. And
you can see Coach Rosberg and them were wanting to decline it, take it, but I don't think you can when in high school on an offsides like that. And then it makes you wonder, if you get it at the 1.5, does that change your,
do you try and punch it in?
At this point, you're up 3. You want just a point so that at least a field goal can't tie you. But with the way they've been running the football.
And the snap's high. The timing wasn't very good, but the kick is still going to be good for Mahabadi. He started forward a little bit, and he was leaning, and then the snap was high. But they'll get it anyway. And Chanhassen has taken the momentum back here. They lead it now 28-24.
Yeah, but really their big plays were 2 big pass plays. Just like their drive in the first half that they went down in a hurry. Dive right, dive left, dive left, dive right. All of a sudden, 2 big play actions, and they get a face mask that gave them an automatic first down too. So they are sure come out and they've run the ball effectively. They've gotten big plays, throwing the ball down the field too.
So Mahabadi will kick it off here for Chanhassen. Cooper looking to get the momentum back. Once again, they're faced with this similar situation to what they were in the first half, seeing Chanhassen kind of take the momentum, and they were able to storm back and get a lead at halftime, and now they're going to be asked to do it again here.
We heard Coach Howard talk about adjustments, so we'll see if they change a little something up offensively and get their timing back and their rhythm.
Williams takes it around the 10, and he's out over the 20 to the 22-yard line, and we'll see. Cooper hasn't really had the ball much in this second half, and didn't do a whole lot with it when they did. That can be the problem when you get you get a little bit rusty. It seems like you go into halftime and your momentum's a little bit broken, and then you don't get the ball much here in this third quarter, and all of a sudden it feels like haven't really run much.
I'll tell you what, too, Jay, they're 3-0 this year, but the last few years, Cooper isn't used to winning necessarily. And knowing how to win and knowing how to play with the lead and not taking your foot off the gas, sometimes that has to be a learned behavior. And this, maybe they got a little comfortable, the homecoming at halftime, and that's something that they're going to learn how to do. And they might figure it out yet this game, but getting a lead is a different mentality. You got to be as sharp. You got to be as disciplined. And so far, Chanhassen doing a great job of containing Levante Taylor, not letting him where he can show off his world-class speed.
Carlson, a nice open field tackle, drops him for a loss of a couple here. So 2nd and 12 for Cooper. Howard looking to throw, wants Marshall, now goes back the other way to the right side, deep down the field for Newbern, and a little bit overthrown. He was well covered anyway.
I'll tell you the key to that play, and I know this from when I used to play. Watch that great ball, and Newbern's running. Watch him slow down as he's turning around, as he's running, as a receiver, you got to maintain that speed. And again, I had the great Bud Grant tell me once, my quarterback overthrew me by about 4 yards. And he said that wasn't the quarterback's fault, that was your fault. You slowed down. You got to learn how to keep running full speed while you're turning around looking for that ball. He had the defender beat. That was an excellent ball by Phil Howard. He can really throw the deep ball, can't he, Jay? I mean, that's about 3 times. They haven't hit on it yet, but the ball's been right where it should be.
3rd and a dozen. Howard rolling to his right, throws on the run and complete. He went right back to Newburn. I think he's got it, yes. Well, Chanhassen furious on the sideline thinking he was juggling it, but looks like they're going to give him the catch.
Well, again, great poise by the quarterback, getting outside, puts it right on the spot. And a nice job by Newburn, too, knowing right where that first down marker is, getting at least a yard past it. That's a big play, especially with the momentum now on Chanhassen's side. You got to convert some of those 3rd and longs, and Cooper does a nice job.
14-yard pickup there when they needed about 12 and a half. Yep. So great execution there by the Hawks.
I just love the poise, too, of Phil Howard. I mean, just knowing that was a big 3rd down play. Oh, look at the space on this.
Taylor cuts between a couple, almost squeezed through those tacklers. He will have a 1st down.
Yeah,
pick up about 13 more here. Oh, there's a flag down. I'm sorry.
Well, maybe that's why there was such a big hole. Yep.
Holding. It came downfield a little ways, so it won't hurt quite as bad, but you take away a nice run. Chanhassen, I saw at least a couple guys pointing. I think it might have been something relatively obvious because they saw it as the play was developing.
Let's see if we can see where that hold comes from. Oh, it didn't look like it was coming there. It might be coming downfield here. Yeah, right there you can see a hold. That's where it's going to come from.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, as a head coach, you don't ever like penalties. But one of the ones you can live with is when it's your receiver trying to block downfield. You know, obviously you don't want it, but it sets them back. It's 1st and 11 now. But you'll just love the effort of your guys. That's an unselfish thing for your receivers, you know, trying to fight for extra yards for their running back.
Taylor nearly had it knocked loose. Now tries to stiff arm, and he is dragged out of bounds after a short pickup of about 3 or 4.
2 things stand out. What a move. What footwork. Levante Taylor, watch him just to get out of that play right there. But then it almost looked, Jay, like this was a horse collar tackle, didn't it? No, it looks like he got him low. That's a clean play. Nice tackle.
Yeah, the way he was pulled back, but it was definitely more like on the number that he pulled him, not underneath. So good no call there, I think. 2nd and 6 now. He got more than I thought there. It was more like a 4 or 5 yard gain. Howard fakes it to Taylor. Howard is wrapped up and driven down hard there. Well defended by the Storm.
Well, it was Drew Heyer on defense. We've heard his name on offense, but that time he stayed at home. And when you get Phil Howard or Levante Taylor with their speed and their playmaking ability to the outside, they're dangerous. I think one of the adjustments Chanhassen has said is, you know, if these guys are going to beat us, it's not going to be because of our mistakes and our lack of discipline. Everyone stay home, trust your teammates. If you're a defensive end or an outside linebacker, just stand ground, force the ball to funnel inside, and we all have help, and so far they've done that.
3rd and 4 to Marshall, and he dropped it. He was looking where he was going to cut. Heyer was ready to meet him there, and it falls incomplete, and probably going to have to punt from this spot on the field.
Well, it's a little bit high, but I'll tell you what's hard about that, you can see Marshall's head. He sees Heyer coming right at him. That's not easy. It looks easy as someone just watching, but when you know a guy's running at you full speed, about ready to just crunch you, you have a tendency to turn your head just for a second. And even if he would have caught that, Jay, I don't think he would have had enough for a 1st down.
You know, Heyer was going to make that tackle. It sure appeared. Wow. Nice kick over Brannon's head, and it's going to take a Cooper bounce. And they'll be able to down it at about the 4-yard line, as hustling down there was Phoenix Sproles to get on that one. He wasn't going to take any chances and wait for the perfect bounce there. I think was a good idea.
Well, field position, always a big part of games, and I'll tell you, Jordan Marshall, as great as he is as a receiver, he might be the best punter I've seen in high school in quite a while.
That's what's kind of fun about high school football, too. We saw a guy for Armstrong last night playing defensive end that also got some good kicks away to help their cause as well. So first down from about the 4-yard line here for Chanhassen. Chance for Cooper to try and pin him deep. They go with a counter, and it is Kirchhoff on the carry, and pretty decent gainer when you're pinned back that deep. He got about 4.
Well, just to get you off of that line of scrimmage or off the end zone there, you just feel a little bit more comfortable now. And that was really the first misdirection that we've seen, from Chanhassen tonight. Is they've been pretty straightforward with their dives and their I formation, their isolations. That time they go to the left, they come back with the counter to the right, but a nice job of Cooper staying home.
Back to the dive. And not a whole lot there as Bell and company stop Kirchhoff after short pickup, maybe a couple.
I know it's not necessarily thrilling football watching dive after dive, but it's effective. They got, they're averaging about 5 yards a carry, and they put themselves in these third and manageable situations, and they've been really effective at then adding in a play action and trying to get receivers down the field.
3rd and 3. Cooper fans making some noise. Hutton throwing out to Kirchhoff. He's got it. And he will have a first down. That's a clutch play and a good safe play to pick up the first down there, too.
I love that call. I just love it. Everyone's 3rd and short. You think you're getting dive. Great ball fake by Max and Hutton right there. And you leak out the running back in the flat. An easy throw. And just a great call. And you talk to a quarterback who, Max, he's a senior captain, but he hasn't had huge yards, averaging about 126 yards a game. Came in with 5 touchdowns, but also 5 interceptions. But you give him some makeable throws, some catching, the 5-yard little dumps. I mean, that's how you build confidence in your quarterback. And what a good call. What a big 3rd down pickup.
That'll do it for the 3rd quarter. We'll change ends and a 4th quarter coming up next. Chanhassen has taken the lead back. It's 28-24 Storm after 3 here on 12 Sports.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
And we begin quarter number 4 along with Ryan Iverson and Lindsey Gensel. I'm Jay Wilcox. 1st and 10 now for Chanhassen at their 18 after a clutch 3rd down conversion. And the ball's loose. Looks like Cooper might have it. They do. Huge turnover, and the Hawks come up with the recovery. Hutton trying to get that ball back, but he lost the battle there. As up with the recovery for Cooper is Willie Staple. You see on the fake, and then he is hit.
Look at the efforts there. I can't see the numbers. At
56, yeah.
I mean, just sticking his big arm, that's Willie Staple. Just to having the wherewithal to get his arm out and bring that in with one arm, that's huge. I'll tell you the biggest number, the biggest stat tonight, Jay, 4-0, and that's turnovers. And that was a big 3rd down Chanhassen just have. They could have killed another 3 or 4 minutes on the clock. Instead, turnover, giving Cooper the ball on the 15-yard line. That's a big, big play.
Here is Taylor breaking free, and he will be down to about the 5 as they push forward.
One thing we haven't had tonight, Jay, is back and forth, where Cooper drives, then Chanhassen answers and back. We've either had scores in bunches by one team. All of a sudden the switch turns on and the momentum goes to the other side. So we'll see here if the Chanhassen D can hold. after a big turnover.
First down goal to go here for Cooper. Back to Taylor. Taylor trying to squeeze between bodies. He'll pick up about 3 more, and they are on the doorstep now. Second and goal from around the 2-yard line here for Cooper as they try and grab the lead back. Back to Taylor, and he is in for the touchdown. Cooper regains the lead.
Well, nothing fancy or special about those last couple plays. That's just smash mouth football. And Levante Taylor, a big offensive line. We've talked about his speed, but he takes on 2 of those really good linebackers, Jack Matson, Justin Wilson, and he powers his body forward. He's got a little power there, just kind of like a Barry Sanders when he was, had great speed, but he was a little bit smaller, but they got a low center of gravity, and sometimes they're harder to bring down.
Cooper going to go for 2 again as they have all game long. Handoff this time, Hawley, and he's not going to get there. So for the first time, Chanhassen has made a stop on the conversion, so it'll stay at 30-28.
And you don't know necessarily why they go for 2 if they just don't trust their kicker. But I'll tell you what's kind of, you almost feel demoralized after a big score and then you don't get the 2. And just 1 point would have given them a field goal lead, but they took Levante Taylor out. You could see a little difference in the explosion on that play. Got a nice stop there for the 2-point conversion. But again, I'll tell you, give Cooper's defense credit for the number of turnovers tonight, but also give their offense credit. You get a turnover, but what do you do with it? They've converted every time for points. So, we talked about in the pregame, Jay, their Cooper's defense being opportunistic, creating turnovers. We talked to Willie Howard before. He said we expect our guys to wreak havoc and to create turnovers, and tonight they've done that.
Marshall getting set to kick off here for the Hawks. 11:15 to play in the ballgame, and Cooper has gone back in front 30-28. A very entertaining football game here at Cooper on a Saturday afternoon, homecoming 50th anniversary here for this E.J. Cooper High School. Way out to the side and taken on the 15-yard line there by Rice. And Reese will be just shy of the 30, so pretty well covered. You'd like to be able to pin a team to one sideline like that on a kickoff. And that's what happened. And we got a little shaken up player for Cooper there, looks like, Romario Castillo, hobbling his way off the field. Well, we'll see what Chanhassen can do now with the opportunity. They had that one nice drive for the touchdown, but last time pinned in their own territory, coughed it up.
Really, Jay, they've had 2 drives here in the second half that resulted in points. And the last drive, they were pinned back on the 4-yard line, able to get a big first down, and of course had the miscue. You just got to tell them, guys, we've done this before. Let's stick to our guns. Let's stick to our, what our game plan is. Mix it up. They've had nice balance with play action and running the football, but we got to take care of it. We've got to take care of the ball. We got to be precise on our timing and our fakes, and we got to execute.
To Kirchhoff. Kirchhoff breaking through. Hawley wraps him up, but he'll be, looks like, near a first down, maybe just short, but a good gainer as they've gone to some more of an eye look here with the lead back.
I'll tell you, Cole's had a big game, and I just like how he runs. There's nothing fancy about it. It's just tough, straight downfield running, and he gets momentum going. He's hard to bring down. It takes 2 or 3 guys.
Second and a yard here for the Storm. Back to Kirchhoff on the ground, and he'll squeeze forward for the first down. So he crosses the 40-yard line.
I thought maybe on that second and short, that would be a great chance to take a shot down the field. And if you don't get it, you still got third and, obviously very short. But we'll see. Their best drives have been when they've mixed that play action and been able to get the ball down the field. We'll see if they look to do that here in one of these plays.
And the handoff to Kirchhoff, and he is into the secondary. Kirchhoff cutting it to the outside. One guy with a chance, and Ngacha takes him down at the 27-yard line. So a pickup of 31.
Well, Kirchhoff showing some good speed right there. And that's what happens. Sometimes you just over-pursue, and you get a linebacker blitz that Cooper had on that play, and there's no one there. And, Kirchhoff showing some vision downfield. Look at this cut. He's able to get it, pick up an extra, 6 to 8 yards after down the field. Nice play, big response here by Chanhassen.
Just got the handoff away to Heyer, and then he nearly broke free. And Ngacha comes over to make another big stop, but close to 10 more there as Heyer.
Well, and you can see he split that. There was 2 Cooper defensive tackles right there. He went right between them. You got to wrap him up. If you get to a running back at the line of scrimmage or behind it, you got to wrap him up. Cooper's done a good job of shutting that trap or that dive down for most of the game, but here a couple of big runs.
2nd and yard, Chanhassen marching. Kirchhoff, he is going to get in for the touchdown. Good blocking and then one cut.
Wow. What a game. What an ad. The first time that, it hasn't been bulk scoring by one team, and there was nothing fancy about this drive. It was dive after dive, and Kirchhoff that time just goes right through a huge hole, and he's showing he's got some speed. He's in the game. That's his 4th touchdown. And Kirchhoff, he came into the game their leading rusher as far as yards and touchdowns with 5. He's almost matched his season total here in one game.
Storm going to go for 2 here, leading by 4, but now we've got a flag and illegal substitution. They had too many in the huddle, it looked like maybe initially, so they'll be pushed back 5. Don't know if this changes anything.
Well, this will change things here, Jay. Again, coming from the 8-yard line, especially with how potent they've been running the football. This is a lot different. It's probably going to force them to pass.
Hutton rolling out, now in trouble. A little jump pass, and that one had no chance, and it will fall incomplete. And boy, you're right. That you have to say the penalty made a huge difference on that sequence.
What I don't get, that's a big conversion right there. You get it. We know Cooper goes for 2, so that would have you have your quarterback who's right-handed roll to his left, where you only got 2 options to go there. I question the call on something like that, but that's where you got to be buttoned up. And when you're first and going for the 2-point conversion at the 3, you got to have your play. You got to know what you're going with, what personnel is going to be in there, and that ended up costing them a big 2 points.
So the lead is 4 for the Storm. How many more touchdowns are we going to see in this one as it's gone back and forth here and a lot of time to go?
And all the scoring, Jay, really has been in this quarter 2, 3, and 4. We had a pretty quiet first quarter. Something tells me that I don't think we're done with the scoring yet.
I would agree. Booms it long. Taylor, this is going to be a touchback. Of course, you're not allowed to run them out high school football, so they will start on the 20, and that's a overlooked big play there by your kicker, Mahabadi, able to get a touchback.
Well, it's Levante Taylor. It's one more touch for him, and we know what he's capable of, and when you kick it that deep into the end zone, automatic touchback, you're just basically taking a play away from Levante. So, a good kicker, as we see at every level, can really be a weapon for any team. And we've seen for Cooper, too, with Marshall being as good of a punter as he is as well.
From the 20, they flare it out to Taylor. And he is driven back after a gain of 4, maybe 5. I think that's actually going to be, they'll score that as a running play. This is really a lateral pass.
Yeah, run or pass. I just like it's a different way to get him the ball. And, the good players, look, we watched that. We didn't think it was, much of anything, but that's a 6-yard gain. And that's a bad play for him. So he came into this game, Jay, averaging 9.3 yards an attempt. you're pretty dynamic when you can do that.
Not going to get anywhere near that right there, though. Nice tackle by Ben Carlson, who's made some big plays today for the Storm, and that'll be a loss of 2.
Yeah, and his plays have come in the backfield. He's doing a nice job. We'll see where he's coming from. You see he sheds the offensive line, able to slant right into the backfield. And when you have a slant on like that and you call the right slant at the right time, great things can happen. And that's probably the 3rd or 4th time we've mentioned his name in the backfield today. It's a big 3rd down.
Yeah, 3rd and about 7 here for the Hawks after that loss. Howard checking that wristband as the play comes in from the bench. And they're going to ask for a timeout.
Oh, and he just got it. You can see the field judge threw the flag there for delay of game. And that timeout literally came in, I think, about a half a second before then.
And the official indicating that he's picking it up. And so you're right, it was extremely close, and they realized that. So good timeout there again taken by the Hawks. You want to be sure of everything on a play like this because, yeah, we've still got time left, but, I mean, these become crucial 3rd downs now.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a 3rd down and about 7, so you got, it's not 3rd and 20. You got a lot of different options. But you're in the 4th quarter now, you do start watching the clock. You're very cognizant of the timing that's going on, especially with how well Chanhassen's been running the ball lately. You don't want to give them the ball back. So you want to make sure you have the right play call, the right personnel in to give your team the best opportunity to convert this big 3rd down.
Howard flaring it out. Here's Hall, and he'll have the 1st down and more. Shoved out of bounds at around the 40-yard line. He hasn't really been involved a lot, but he's made some big plays when he's needed out there.
Yeah, surprise call. This play has not worked very well tonight. Look at this block down the field, or not even a great block, but Melvin Newbern just being in the right spot, slowing some of those defensive backs for Chanhassen down. And I think part of that play gets made because you got Levante Taylor in the backfield and so much attention on him that you forget about some of these other weapons. And they haven't had luck running that bubble screen, but they're a big call and a big conversion.
Planned run here for Howard. Howard getting to the edge, and he goes out of bounds at about the 48, so give him 8 on that carry.
Did he say he has the 4-3?
Yes, 4.38. He ran at the North Dakota State camp.
Yeah, Willie Howard telling us about Phil Howard's speed. Ran at 4.3 2 separate times at the North Dakota State camp, and he's got an acceleration to him, but he doesn't look like he's trying to. Just smooth, and he drops back, turns it up, and he made chicken salad there out of nothing, and a beautiful 7-8 yard carry on 1st down.
2nd and a couple now for the Hawks. Handoff going to Taylor, and Taylor met up by Heyer, but he'll have enough for the 1st down into Chanhassen territory. Got it to the 49. It'll be a 1st down.
You know what I like about Taylor is the pace, and look at his balance and how shifty he is. His feet are always balanced. He's always low to the ground, and he's very patient. You see some running backs hit that hole before it's there. He just kind of waits, and he's shifty back and forth, and he's a tough guy to bring down.
Cooper's going 3-back set now, and we've got a flag down as they get.
One of the running backs got started a little early. Penalties, as we've alluded to all game, Jay, they just can suck the momentum that's going. You can see here, I can't see the number, but you can see the left front up back there got going just a little bit early. A lot of this, when you have a lot of backs and different formation, it really comes down to timing. And they're not easy offenses and easy timing to execute.
Howard fakes the handoff, trying to get wide, but Heyer makes a huge stop for a loss there for the Storm. A loss of nearly 5 on the play.
Drew Heyer, we've heard his name on offense quite a few times tonight. Just a great job shedding the blocker. He wasn't, free to the quarterback there. He had to shed a blocker and then a surefire tackle on Phil Howard. And we talked, with the penalty and a negative play, now you have 2nd and about, was that 20 yards, 21? down in distance, you got to manage it, especially when in the fourth quarter, especially when you're trailing.
Howard out in the flat to Hall. And Hall, a face mask, I think. Yep, they saw it. 3 different flags flew. It was right in front of the Cooper bench. And so Chanhassen compounds the mistake there, making a face mask, as Hall was really stopped and probably going to be knocked out of bounds anyway.
Well, and it would have been about a 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13. As we see the call, and there it is, a face mask. That's going to be an automatic first down, and that's a huge play. It keeps this drive going. You can see a nice job by Chanhassen, and a really nice job by number 7, Robert Brantley, fighting off a blocker and making the tackle. You got to stay away from the face mask.
So down to the 37 of Chanhassen now. Cooper trailing by 4. Howard looking to throw deep downfield and just in and out of the hands of Newbern there. So he got turned around a little bit.
Well, I like the play call. They've run this bubble screen about 3 or 4 times. Here you fake it. You're hoping a D-back and the safeties come up on it, but actually pretty good coverage. And again, I have no problem with that throw, Jay. Howard put it where only Newbern could have a shot at catching it, and actually could have made that play. But I like the chance down the field. I like the ball fake. I like the rhythm to Cooper's offense right now.
He'll go to Taylor on the ground. He is wrestled to the turf by Jack Matson. Gets about 6. Taylor right at around 100 yards, but it's taken him 24 carries to get there. So I think overall Chanhassen would probably say we're reasonably satisfied with how we've defended him.
And a couple of those came on some big carries too, where he had chunks at 26 or 31 yards. And so they've done a nice job of bottling them up.
Big 3rd down again here for the Hawks. Howard fakes the handoff. Now trying to get a block on the outside. Nice little step through. Oh,
wow.
Great move there inside the 25.
That's going to be a play that Chanhassen's going to watch on film tomorrow. And you can see they had him contained. You can't let a guy with speed get outside of you. And you can see right there, number 20, Drake Weissman, had a shot at him. You got to wrap him up, but great footwork, great speed by Phil Howard, who's made play after play with both his arm and legs, and a huge 3rd down conversion.
So 1st and 10, new set of downs from the 24 of Chanhassen. Cooper trailing by 4, but on the march. Howard's going to run it. Cuts right up the middle and has plenty of room. Howard down inside the 10 before he's dragged down by Quinn Lanners.
Yeah, Jay, it didn't look like there was much there, did it, at the line of scrimmage? And this is when you got speed like that. Look at the patience, and then boom, hits the hole hard, cut back. You got to stay in your lanes and be disciplined when you're playing against speed.
Unfortunately, Jordan Marshall is down injured on the field, though, for Cooper, as he was caught up in blocking on that play.
And those kind of stuff, that kind of injury, when people roll into the back of their legs, we see it all the time in the NFL and college. It looks awful. You just pray, and you can see just going right in the back, and you just pray that it looks worse than what it actually is. But that's you hate seeing anyone get injured playing sports, but especially high school kids. They got so much of the season left and so much of their future left. You just pray it's nothing too bad.
Marshall trying his best to get up into a standing position. Probably that ankle, more than likely, but definitely a lot of weight coming down on the back of your leg when your foot's on the ground. It's almost impossible for that not to become an injury.
This obviously, I hope he's not injured at all, but you almost hope it's an ankle rather than, a knee or. And you certainly hope he's okay, but this is a big loss for this Cooper offense. He's kind of been their threat as far as down the field, had a touchdown earlier in the game, and even from a punting standpoint too, he played a big role. So You certainly hope that young man is okay, and now you need someone else to step up.
Yeah, and who's on deck as you said, as punter and even kickoff kind of guy.
Yeah.
Say they score a touchdown here, somebody else going to have to kick off. But the good news for Cooper, they're inside the 10 now. First down, goal to go from the 9-yard line. A little over 5 minutes to play. Cooper trying to finish a march and retake the lead. Chanhassen trying to find an answer and find a stop. Howard handing it off to Taylor,
nice.
and he is wrapped up in the backfield. Beautiful stop that time for the Storm, made by Corey Fitch. And that'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so 2nd and goal from about the 11 now for Cooper.
And it seems like Chanhassen's getting someone in the backfield every play. It's just whether or not they're able to wrap up and make that tackle. That time, Fitch came in out of nowhere and it just held on for dear life, and a nice play.
Howard looking to throw. Fires, end zone, and incomplete. A lot of hand fighting there. Chanhassen's D-back wanted an offensive foul there on Newbern as Weisman got his hands on it.
Yeah, and going to Newbern, just really well covered right there. And Weisman, great position, actually almost picked that off. And kind of a dangerous throw. And again, I think this is where, when Marshall being out of the game, there was a lot of attention on him on the outside. Marshall had such good height, too. You could just almost throw a jump ball to him, and he'd probably have a good shot at coming down with it. Who's going to step up here?
3rd and goal from the 11. Howard wants Newbern. The throw, and incomplete. He was able to fight his way free of Weisman, but couldn't bring it in. And it will be 4th down and goal.
Jay, he was open on that one. I think when I saw it, he cut in and then came outside, and Weisman went for it, and Newbern was able to get a step. You can see that ball was literally about 6 inches out of the reach of Melvin Newbern, but he was there, and that was the right play call. Just a little touch overthrown.
Timeout taken by Cooper here. Obviously a huge play coming up as they'll go for it on 4th and goal. And boy, if they see that kind of matchup again, I wouldn't fault them if they went right back to it. But
well, or do you try to, they've had some luck running that bubble screen too, to a couple of receivers, to Levante Taylor as well. But this is where, if you're Cooper, your defense is, right now, you got to be getting ready, saying, if we don't score, there's still a lot of time left. We got to get a stop, get the ball back to our offense. We know how explosive this Cooper offense is. You can see Marshall running back out onto the field, crowd going nuts. So good to see, good that he's okay. I'd expect maybe to see him. They'd like to throw to him on the left, get him isolated on the left side, and throw a jump ball to him. We'll see if they go that route here.
Boy, I would not have expected that when looking at him coming off, but he gave it a little run on the sideline, and Marshall, adrenaline maybe taking over a little bit too. So, and also Newbern split out wide to the right, and Hall has been big out of that slot a little bit too, the small guy, number 11.
So you either got the bubble screen to the right, or you got Marshall single covered up top.
Here's the throw, and it is complete. Ball knocked free.
What are they saying?
Incomplete pass. And it will go over on downs as it's Phoenix Sproles who had it briefly, got drilled.
Let's see. You can see he's got 1, 2.
Does he really have control? It's hard to see
hard
from
to
there.
say on that one. Although, it looked like he had possession for foot down, foot down.
It was going to be a two-parter, too, because even if he caught it, was he in the end zone?
Yeah.
It would look like he might not have been. Oh, there's a better look. He did not have control of it. Good look. Nice replay, guys, there. It was the correct call in a second look.
And a great camera view, too. We got some great cameramen from different angles. And that time, seeing the end zone view there, Jay, you could see that ball was wobbly. So what a big play. But this is far from over. Here we can see from another angle. Ball a little bit thrown behind. And what I would say, Jay, is if he had that squarely on the way down, it would have been a completion. But you can see he's on about the 2-yard line. So either way, great defense. It just would have been short. But there's still a lot of football left here. You need a big stop out of the Cooper D.
Handoff up the middle again here as Chanhassen will try and bleed some clock as well. Kirchhoff on the carry.
And Cooper, you know, it's down in distance here, and you start thinking about, you know, you got one timeout left. You know, it's third and 5. If they're able to get a stop here, do you use your timeout now and save as much time for your offense? Remember, when you do get a first down in high school, the clock stops automatically while you get up to the line of scrimmage.
Huge third down here for the Storm. 3rd and about 4. Play action. Hutton, though, in trouble, and he's going to go down. Cooper gets the big sack right there. And it does not look like they plan to use a timeout.
I like the call there, Jay. A little play action. And you know what? Actually, a smart play by the senior Maxon Hutton. He could have thrown that away, but the clock would have stopped. Instead, he held on to it. Took a sack and said that the clock's going to wind down here. They're going to take some more time off. And Cooper's going to get the ball back, Jay, with a little over 2 minutes left and one timeout.
Got Howard back to return this punt. Marshall was waved off after he had left earlier with the ankle injury. So punter for Chanhassen here is Sam Otto. Gets the kick away, and it's not going to be playable for Howard. So great result if you're Chanhassen right there. All the way down to the, well, let's see where they'll mark him out here, about the 41 or 42 yard line.
It looked at first, he marked it at about the 36, 37. And I don't think that would, it looked like it crossed the line about the 41, 42 yard line. And you can see it's out there, so that's about a perfect call.
Cooper, 2:10 to go, one timeout, down 4. It's do or die here down the stretch. They were stopped just short of the end zone last time on a 4th down incompletion.
And you don't got to do anything different. You got plenty of time. Just keep running what's been working.
Howard's throw too high and nearly picked off there as Brantley coming in to try and make a late attempt at it.
Sometimes, when quarterbacks are nervous or they're trying to put a little bit more on it, the ball tends to sail. And they're lucky. Brantley, if he had been looking for that, that would have been a pick 6. But fortunately for Cooper, they live to fight another day. The clock stops. And you don't have to start becoming just a throwing offense. You got a lot of time. You got to get first downs before you can get touchdowns. Oh.
Howard is sacked, and looks like, did the ball come out? Nope, they're going to just say down. But arriving, Bjork got there and took him down. It didn't seem like Howard still had the ball when all was said and done here, but they ruled that he was already down, I guess.
Oh, he clearly let go of that ball on the way down, but doesn't matter. His teammate picked it up, but that's a play Howard usually somehow finds his way of getting out of. Billy Bjork does a nice job of wrapping up, a hard hit. Again, now you're in 22 yards for a first down. You don't have to get it all back on one play here.
And it's going to be Howard on the run. Howard making a cut, wrapped up. Struggles forward. He got about 12, so now it'll bring up a huge 4th down. They probably, we'll see if they'll use a timeout. We've got 1:10 to go. They want to keep it in their pocket if they can.
Well, I don't know about that. You want to make sure this is the ball game right here, Jay. You want to make sure you get the right play called. If there's something that Coach Howard doesn't like, don't hesitate to use that, but big pickup on that 3rd down to make this a manageable and a reachable 4th down.
4th and 8 for the Hawks. Howard under pressure, fires, and in and out of the hands of Marshall, incomplete. And Chanhassen will take over on downs. And they should be able to run the clock out here, barring any mishaps for them.
Yep. And you can see this is about the 2nd and 3rd ball this half that we've seen the ball really sail on Howard. And he gave Marshall, who's a tall, athletic guy, a chance to go up and get that. And it would have been enough for a first down, but it was just a little bit out of reach. And now Chanhassen, with 45 seconds remaining, Cooper with one timeout, should be able to just take a knee and end this ball game. But what an exciting game, Jay. And 34-30 after 0-0 after one quarter. So a lot of scoring in the last 3 quarters, and we got to see a lot of talent on both sides. A little bit different kind of talent, on Chanhassen's side. Kirchhoff, with 4 touchdowns. A little different talent than what Levante Taylor is. He's more shifty, maybe a little bit more electric, but nonetheless, Cole Kirchhoff, 4 touchdowns, power runner with good speed, and that dive and trap and dive. We got to see a lot of it, but it was certainly effective tonight, putting 34 points up on the board.
Entertaining ball game for Cooper. You come away disappointed, but at the same time did a lot of good things. They still have a good opportunity the rest of the way in this season.
Well, you touched on it. There's a lot of season left, and the most important part of the season left, which is obviously how you're playing going into the playoffs, and it's a learning experience. They're a young team. Coach Howard talked about 10 new starters on defense, a lot of new starters on offense. Playing a close game, you learn whether you win or lose. What do you take from it, and how do you apply that going forward?
Cooper apparently must not have any timeouts left. It shows on the scoreboard that they do, but I think the official's telling them, no, you actually do not have any timeouts left. So they tried to call timeout after that play, but it's not going to matter. Chaska, you wouldn't think, should even need to run another play, but I guess perhaps they might. Just take a knee to end it here, and Chanhassen will hang on for the victory here. A clutch win on the road for them. They came in at 2-2, and there were times in the game when it looked like they were in control. There were times, especially in that second quarter, when it looked like Cooper was in control, but they end up pulling out the victory here.
Well, not only that, Jay, but the number that usually determines these kind of games is turnovers, and it was 4 for Chanhassen, 0 for Cooper, but give Chanhassen credit. A couple different times the momentum clearly on the home team side, and they just fought through it. And I thought the key, too, was the way they came out in that opening drive in the second half. Marched down, got a big touchdown, got the 2-point conversion, and really just they kept sustaining their game plan, and hats off to them. But it was a really fun game to call.
Thanks so much for joining us here today and Cooper's homecoming, and a great celebration here for the 50th anniversary. Doesn't quite go their way on the scoreboard, but an entertaining game nonetheless. For Ryan Iverson, Lindsey Gensel, and all of our 12 Sports crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Thanks for watching high school football on 12 Sports, where Chanhassen defeats Cooper 34-30.